Never aligned with the city's pulse. So Well, hello everybody, and welcome to the Bandits on Wheels Fall Showdown number 3. It's a good feeling to be back at it, whoops you. My name is Galgan. We are here, about to get the action started about a half hour before, or actually a little less by this rate before we kick off those first matches, but whoops, we've got a lineup of 4 groups of 4 teams each. 4 of those teams, a lot of 4s, made it by being invited. The other 12 playing through the qualifier yesterday, and plenty of prize pool up for grabs. It's going to be a great event.
A great event is an understatement. I really believe that, Galgan. Yo, Bandits on Wheels always provides quality entertainment, quality Rocket League entertainment at its finest, in my personal opinion, too. And on top of that, like you said, we have some amazing teams here, some first-time comers trying to come in and stuff like that, but we'll get more into that later. I guarantee you're going to hint towards that later on.
Oh, absolutely. But before we get to any of those matches, I mean, we've got to meet the teams in the first place. And those 4 invited teams have sent some representatives alongside us to help decide who's going to be playing who in the group stage. Again, these teams took the time to take part in a snake draft where one by one they made their picks of the 12 qualifier teams and went in reverse order for every alternating round until everyone had 3 teams alongside them in their group. We'll find out very shortly who is in what group, but I think it's about time to meet the representatives here for the Fall Showdown number 3. Whoops. Your 4 invited teams, Hey Bro, Aris's team, Not a Tryout, and Suckpartic, and your representatives in that same order will be Wavy, Nolly, Reddles, and Zealous. I'm excited to get this draft underway and reveal just who's playing who.
Yeah, this is my shocked face right here. Like I said beforehand, some banger names here in the bubble scene. Of course, you got a staple here in Rocket League, and that's Reddles. Anywhere you put this man on a roster, he's just so applicable anywhere he goes, and just top tier talent right there. And of course, he's playing with Magic Bear and Hockster today. And then of course, Zealous, Wavy. Enough said about Wavy, but Zealous. I mean, these guys time and time again just constantly prove themselves as to why they're the top talent in the bubble scene. And of course, you can't forget about I don't know. The person who came overseas and just disrupted the whole entire American circuit last season, Nolly. I mean, come on. Enough said.
Absolutely. Certainly well within their right, anybody to take this tournament. But the 12 qualifier teams as well that wait in the wings, there are plenty of dark horses at play. You said some newcomers to the scene and whatnot, but we'll have to see just who prioritized who. I think we are about ready to get these players into the picture and reveal the draft. And indeed we are. Everybody, please, a warm welcome to our reps. We've got Wavy and Nolly representing down there on the cams, and up above as well, Zealous for Suckpartic and Reddles, as we said, for Not a Tryout. Nolly, I have to come to you first just for quick vibes before we reveal the draft. Obviously, congratulations on your land win in France as well. I realize that this tournament may be the equivalent of can you do it in a cold, windy autumn day in North America, but how are you feeling before this event kicks off?
Yeah, I mean, I'm chilling, playing with Aris and Evo.
Oh, no.
Have we caught him on mute? You're muted, brother.
Oh, no.
That's Discord mistake number 1.
Hello? Wait.
Listen, I'm not going to say several people are on mute right now, but we're going to get this fixed. It could be in Discord.
Hello?
There we go.
Oh, you're better. I can hear you now. Zealous muted still, too. That's okay.
I didn't realize I had to be unmuted for the Discord as well. But yeah, I'm chilling, playing with Aris and Evo, two incredibly talented players. But yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah, I mean, the whole reason is that, like, we can't hear you in the Discord. I mean, they can hear you on stream, but we couldn't hear your responses. So, I mean, it's supposed to be a little bit of a give and take here. Am I right, Galgan?
Yeah, it's fair enough. But listen, we're gonna get to the formalities soon enough. We'll have a bit to say to everybody, but I think we should try and reveal some of these teams picked. Again, it's a snake draft that everybody participated in. So we started off with Not a Tryout, Reddles being the rep for that team, went to Suckpartic, then Hey Bro, and then Aris's team. And we reversed for round 2, but as far as round 1 is concerned, the very first pick of the Bandits on Wheels Fall Showdown number 3 going into the group of Not a Tryout was Big Birds 3.0. That roster, one of the qualifiers of Jerry, Hepskid, and Yokes. Obviously following that one up, if we continue in that first round, Jolly Good Juggernauts are picked up by Suckpartic. That is a largely European squad transplanted into some of the North American universities over here, so Polar, Nex, and Vesh. Hey Bro then went on for the third pick to select Cold. That is Exorari, JD, and Optic. And rounding out this first group of picks, it is Dope, chosen by Aris's team. Dope being another qualifier side of Aris, Alraz, and Diaz. Whoops. Any thoughts for these players? There are some, there's some pretty big names in this first round. Usually you get some of the perceived weaker teams picked first, but I don't think too many people are afraid to pull some punches here.
No, I mean, I'm just curious, as to who picked what and the thought processes behind it. So I guess I'll start off with Evo. Picking Dope in the first round. I'm just kind of curious. I know we don't have Evo here, but I need to know what was the thought process behind that one, because that's a solid roster. That's Aris, Alvarez, and Diaz. That's pretty tough.
I'll be honest, these are new to me as well. I don't know who I've picked. I've left that up to them, and they've set me up to be on camera. So, I'll figure it out as we go along too.
I mean, how do you feel about that matchup, though? I mean, you feel pretty confident going into that one, or?
I mean, it's me, Aris Evo. We should win no matter who we play.
True. I mean, facts, hard facts.
I was saying this before we started. Players, they're just going to know that they're simply better and they're going to win. But
yeah, I mean, you have to have that swag about you.
Yeah, exactly. I do want to go up to Zanil, though, before we move on to the second round. I want to talk about Jolly Good Juggernauts, because you, of course, being around the CRL scene, you've got 3 players who, like I said, have transplanted to some North American universities. Polar playing with Nichols College. You've got Vesh playing, I believe, with St. Clair, and Nex with Harrisburg. How do you feel about this squad? Because they kind of showed up, surprised a couple people in the qualifiers, I think. Do you think you have a good chance against them?
I think we should be chilling. I didn't really know them very well before the quals yesterday. They got some good wins, but we should be chilling. I don't want to say it was a peak from them, but they definitely got some pretty surprising results, and I'm not confident that they can replicate it.
Wow.
But we'll see.
Wow. Ouch. Bold statement. Yeah, bold statement right there. I mean, this is why I like this right here. You know what I mean? You got a little bit of the trash talking beforehand, and I like the confidence too. You know, like I said, Zanil, you're a very, very good player. You know, you've proven that time and time again. But I mean, the confidence is key. You have to have that swag about yourself, and you have to be like, hey, I'm just simply better than that person.
Yeah. Fair play. I think it's about time. Whoops, you want to take us through round number 2 here? Get some thoughts. We're going in reverse as well. So it's Aris's team, and their pick is first. Who do you think it is?
Yeah, I believe Kickflip over here can do the first representative. I mean, the first pick in the second round, and then we have Wavy, the man, the myth, the legend himself, taking rejects. I'm gonna get back to you on that one later on. And then Zanil drafting for they take Elephant. And then Reddles' team is going to go ahead and take Flights. But I'm going to start off with Wavy here. What's the thought process? I see you smirking already. And look at you. You put your little menacing hands up there as well. What's the thought process on that one?
I mean, for rejects, Skippy, Voltero, and Azap. I know we're probably going to beat them. I'm pretty confident we're the better team. But I know Azap just likes to ball chase, and Skippy also likes to ball chase. So I think it's a pretty weird dynamic that they're going to have, and I think it's going to basically be a 3v1 on Voltero for half the game.
I just love how you always just give away the strats. Every single time we have you on camera, you're always like, oh man, we're just simply better at kickoffs. We're just like giving away the strats the whole entire time.
I don't think that's strats. I'm just saying what they're doing.
It's confidence. It's just knowing that you're better. Speaking of knowing that you're better, Reddles, I want to go to you about Flight. The unserious question is, do you think Rapid's in-game username is still going to be 15-year-old mechanical, legend or whatever it was? Serious question, how do you rate these chances? Because Flight's one of the more recognizable team names in this field. Certainly there had to be, some kind of logic, even though this is the 8th pick of the draft.
Yeah, the most success Flight ever had was going 0-9 in an RLCS season, so we're feeling pretty decent. A lot of these players are very talented, but we're gonna see what we can get done.
Yeah, fair play. I expect nothing less. Reddles is absolutely chilling there, will not be rocked whatsoever. Listen, we've got 8 teams picked, whoops you. There's only 4 remaining and some insanely strong names, I think, in this scene. As far as how it shook out, Reddles immediately got to pick again as the 9th pick in the draft and picked up So Insane Gaming as the final team in that group, Indigo, Wellis, and Reveal. The Schnauzenheisers went next, filing in to that final spot for Suckpartic's group. Then Clovarity is the final pick for Hey Bro, leaving one and only one team on the board for Aris's team to fill up that Group D, and it's Team Zealous, Money, Expert, and Drew. It's a duo that I personally am very familiar with, Nolly, Money and Expert. It feels like they've stuck together the most consistently out of many duos in the bubble scene. Do you think that is the big factor for this current iteration of Team Zealous, or is there something else at play here?
I think Drewy, I've been playing against him in ranked quite a bit, and he's playing well, so I think he'll be the factor for them.
Mm-hmm. Fair play. Whoops. Any thoughts on this last round of the draft?
Yeah, I just wanted to know why'd you guys pick So Insane over somebody like Schnauzenheisers or like Clovarity, or even like, Team Zealous?
I mean, when it gets to the last round, you're going to have good bubble teams regardless. So it was kind of just picking a name out of the hat. All these teams are going to be decent. We're just going to have to play well.
Fair statement for sure. Wavy, I see you smirking down there again, man. What's on your mind? You got Clovarity. You got shows them. So why Clovarity over Team Zealous? That's the question.
We play Clovarity like every single tournament, and we beat them every time.
I mean, fair enough. I was going to say that as well.
Yeah, so we're just confident against them because we have the results. We just got to replicate it.
All right. I mean, the last question, I guess, over to Zanil. I know, Galgan, you're going to hint on this earlier. I'm not sure if I took this away from you or not, but jolly good Juggernauts over there in that first round. Galgan, take this one away. You have more information on this one, so I want you to say it right. But basically, you said pretty much an EU team now, so...
Yeah, we touched on that a little bit with Zanil. A lot of EU transfers to North American institutions, what have you. But I think as we wrap this draft up and we could take a look at the bracket as well and keep everybody around, we'll get Zanil's thoughts first. This is how the groups have shaken out. We have a fairly simple format forward here for these groups. And again, a staggered start for some of them as well. But Zanil, taking a look at it, you've got the Jolly Good Juggernauts up in round number 1. So, I mean, in my opinion, I feel like that's your hardest matchup right off the rip. Do you like that kind of a quick start to the tournament, or would you rather face that team later on in the bracket?
I'm kind of okay with starting off with that team. We don't rate them too highly. We think Schnauzenheiser's is probably just going to be like our hardest game by a bit, but I think it's a good warm up heading into the next matchup probably, or the final matchup against Schnauzenheiser's. But we're really confident looking at our group. We're happy with our picks.
Fair play. And there's a lot to love about these opening matchups as well. Aris's team will go up against Dope to begin. Hey Bro has Cold in their opener. And that Group A opener, not a tryout versus Big Birds 3.0. You may want to stay tuned to the stream, ladies and gentlemen, because we'll be checking that one out very soon. Reddles, any final message for the fans before you try and clip on mainstream here?
Nah, I mean, hey, it's gonna be a fun grand final versus Team Nolly, and getting ready for that is gonna be a good tournament. So I will see you guys in the end.
Okay.
Hey, just make it out of groups, bro.
Yes, sir. Make it into a regional. Let's go, boys. Come on.
There we go. We'll talk about regionals when we get there, but we've got a fall showdown number 3 to play. Everybody, thank you so much for joining us. Wavy, we have Nolly, Reddles, and Zanil. Thank you so much for joining us for the draft. Get locked in. Get ready for your opening matchups. We'll see you soon. Hopefully all 4 of you into day number 3.
Yes, sir. Peace.
Thank you.
See you guys, man. Have fun.
Easy enough.
All right, whoops. That's the draft done and dusted. I mean, what are you thinking right now? There's a lot to unpack with these opening round matchups. It's looking very scrappy, in my opinion. Like, a lot of teams have outside chances that maybe their opponents aren't fully rating them for.
I mean, 100%. I mean, a lot of people kind of just come in here with the cockiness, which is what I love, but the competitive spirit ultimately in the end. But sometimes those words come back to bite you in the butt, you know what I mean? So you have to kind of be careful and picky and choosy as to what you want to really say. So, I mean, ultimately, at the end of the day, the results speak for themselves. Like, you hear Reddles here towards the end, get into a regional, whatever it may be. Those are just the results. And essentially, I'm liking what I'm seeing from the bubble scene here in NA. They're building themselves up. They're competing with each other. And on top of that, they're not holding these punches anymore. They're not trying to be buddy-buddy with each other. They're being, dreadfully, awfully, I guess you could kind of say, not necessarily mean, but like, true to each other. So they're trying to build each other up, essentially. So it's competitive spirit is, I guess, the word you can kind of say for it. But Galgan, I have a question I want to ask you.
Right.
What do you think about these groups, man? These groups are kind of, they're ruthless, but which one do you think is like the group of death, I guess you can kind of say?
It's really tough to pick. I knew you were going to try and lob this one up, and I took some time to mull over it, and I don't think I ever landed on a decent answer.
Jesse, if you could put the groups on the on the production for us, or on the screen, sorry, for the Twitch chat, so I can kind of see what we're talking about here. This is stacked, man. Like you said, the first round alone, Aris team versus Dope, Haverhill versus Cold. Not a tryout, Big Birds, and my apologies. That one's like a little bit of a whatever. I think we both kind of side with not a tryout. We'll get into that later. It's like Park Tick versus Jolly. I'm really anxious to see that one. And so which one do you kind of stand out to you? What group is going to be like the group of death?
I mean, again, I feel like I'm biased, but I'm gonna go to Group B. It's just, I think Jolly Good Juggernauts are a team that people are going to underestimate, and Zanil rather was correct to call out that Schnauzenheisers are a very solid team as well. Elephant, you can't really count them out either. Obviously, every team made it through this qualifier for a reason, but yeah, if I had to pick a hardest group, I think I'd have to land on B right now. Close second might go towards Group D.
And see, Group D is my number one choice. I think Group D is definitely the group of death. No particular reason as to why the letter is like that, but like honestly, Aris, Team Dope, Team Zealous, Kickflip, there's a lot of solid teams in there that can kind of, go toe to toe with each other. That Dope team is the one I'm going to have my eye on. Aris, Elrez, and Diaz. They have some success in the bubble scene. You see them quite a few times, making day 3 runs and things of that nature. You just have to be very, very careful when it comes to that squad. And of course, Kickflip, Flitz, Cam, and Kofer, they were clicking on all cylinders last time we seen them. And, Flitz has been having a heck of a run himself personally, and then you pair that with Cam and Kofer on top of all that, when they start to pop off, it gets really dangerous.
So there is plenty of action, as you can see, that has yet to unfold here on day number 2. We whittle down 16 teams to a grand total of 8 in preparation for Championship Sunday. And our first match on this mainstream is going to be that Group A starting match between Not a Tryout and Big Birds 3.0. But we're not the only stream going on. While we may be the main affair, you can do a little bit of shopping around for some player perspectives, some community broadcasts and watch parties, and check out all the action that you need to. Stick around though, because at the top of the hour, we will be back to see Not a Tryout take on that first opening match in Group A of the Bandits on Wheels Fall Showdown number 3. We will see you then.
We gon' make you lose. We gon' make you move. So baby, let's up it tonight. Let me get funky. Let me get funky. We gon' make you move from side to side. We gon' make you lose all inside your mind. Oh, we gon' get you through this just for one more high. So baby, let's orbit tonight. We gon' make you move from side to side. We gon' make you lose all inside your mind. Oh, we gon' get you through this just for one more high. So baby, let's orbit tonight. Let me get funky.
Let's lose our mind.
Let me get funky. Let me get funky. We gon' make you move from side to side. We gon' make you lose all inside your mind. Oh, we gon' get you through this just for one more high. So baby, let's orbit tonight. We gon' make you move. We gon' make you move.
inside, it's unforgivable. But I forgive you every time. Hard to let it go, 'cause we're intertwined. I break you, you break me, but something about it makes us so. Baby, every piece keeps us together in the cold. I break you, you break me, holding our love in chains of gold. I break you, you break me, holding our love in chains of gold. Frozen in my dream, I can't escape the thoughts of you. If I try to leave, when I'm with you I can't move. It's unforgivable, but I forgive you every time. Hard to let it go, 'cause we're intertwined. I break you, you break me, but something about it makes us whole. Baby, every piece keeps us together in the cold. I break you, you break me, holding our love in chains of gold.
Well, hi everybody, and welcome back to the Bandits on Wheels Fall Showdown number 3. Obviously, we had got done with the draft just a little bit ago, and we fully intend to get this first matchup ready and set to go as soon as we possibly can. Just a bit of work on the back end, and we will be on our way. But for the time being, my name is Galgan. Alongside me, Whoopsie, and Whoops. This format, I guess we could talk about it a little bit more at length. We've got 4 groups of 4 teams each. If people are familiar with how CRL Worlds has been run over the past 2 years, it will be very similar in the sense that you can go 2-0 out of your group to get the top seed, 2-1 out of your group gets you the lower bracket seed, and anything else will see you eliminated as we cut the field in half today.
Yeah, just a normal little Swiss bracket. You know, everybody's typically, the format has been a Swiss bracket for most of the tournaments that kind of are run, so nothing really too difficult about that. But what is difficult is some of the people who you're going to be playing against today, you know, so you have to kind of have a little bit of a target on your back. We talked about that before the break. Some of these teams coming in here with confidence and cockiness, you love to see it. So yeah, I mean, like I said, there's a lot of competition out here, a lot of teams as well, and just a lot of good players who are mixing things up here in the bubble scene.
A lot of good players, a lot of good streams as well that you can check out all of the action if you want to watch some different matches. I know for one, Voltero is having a player perspective stream, so if you want to keep up on what the rejects are doing, you could either go there or you could go over to twitch.tv/HootyHoo, who's covering the rejects first match against Clovarity. If you want to see Hey Bro play against Cold, you could go to twitch.tv/Hercules, and I'm sure there are many, many more streams out there in the Twitch sphere that will get you what you want to see. But I know everybody wants to see this first matchup, which we're getting players in, we're getting loaded up. Big Birds 3.0 versus Not a Tryout. And for Not a Tryout, you know, I kind of thought about this where we saw TRYOUT as an invited team in the draw number 7 with Reddles on it. And now we've got Not a Tryout with Reddles on it. So 2 possibilities, right? Is he lying both times and this is the actual tryout? Or will Reddles in the next tournament he enters make his team name maybe, possibly, potentially, may or may not? I know I'm being a bit redundant, but I think you get the point. I'm just kind of wondering what the actual tryout is, if there even is one in the first place.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying too. Reddles and Magic Bear, you decide who your guys' third is going to be already. So quit teasing us here. Luminosity Gaming, Reddles, and Magic Bear obviously signing to them. Still haven't released their third player as to who is going to be on that roster. So I mean, maybe this is a tryout. Maybe it's not a tryout, whatever it may be. I know for a fact a lot of us are kind of sitting, waiting, and anxiously waiting, I guess you could kind of say, as to who's going to be that third person on that roster. Because, I mean, Reynolds and Magic Bear, two solid people in the Rocket League community. Maybe it could be AJ. Reynolds and AJ, pairing up before in the past. Magic Bear on there with them, too. That's a solid pickup for them. But who knows who it's going to be. But besides the fact, I mean, a couple other teams kind of making their premiere here as well. You were talking about Jolly Good Juggernauts earlier, and we were talking about them in the green room as well. 3 good players here in the CRL level as well, Galgan.
Yeah, that's, again, I mean, it's Polar, who is playing alongside K-Frost and Pyros there on the newly minted Nichols College roster in the CRL League play. Yeah, very good roster. I watched them win a LAN very close to me as well, and it was a fantastic performance. We also have Vesh, who's with St. Clair. St. Clair always builds demons when it comes to the esports space. And we've got Nex at Harrisburg University. So plenty of state diversity when it comes to the institutions that those players attend. But one thing is for certain, they're very good at Rocket League, and it's going to be a very interesting test. I'm not sure, how much regret there's going to be about not rating the chances of a team like Jolly Good Juggernauts in that groupie against Suckpartic, Schnauzenheisers. So much is going on there to unpack, and I feel like we're not going to have answers anytime soon.
Yeah, and I was going to say, we probably don't even have time to even get into that can of worms just yet either. But yeah, I want to go ahead and switch focus back over to the match at hand. We were talking about this a little bit, and we were saying, not a tryout in this first game, of course, against the Big Birds 3.0. Jerry and Yokes, two players I'm not really too familiar with, but Hapskid, I know we were saying this as well. We've seen him around, kind of, bouncing around a couple different teams here, just really not finding his stride, not really finding his success. But I mean, hey, now this is a chance to prove himself, bring his name up. And he's the only person on this actual team who has a Wikipedia page and has some earnings behind his name as well. Yeah. So he's looking to move up his stock value, maybe get on some team in the future and I was gonna say kickflip, but maybe get on some of these other teams like kickflip or something like that. Not necessarily trying to bounce somebody out, but that just first team that kind of popped into my head. And just prove himself to kind of take one of those spots away and maybe do some damage later on with some other players who are the staples here in the bubble scene.
Well, listen, we're about to get this first match underway, but let's try something out. If you think you know who's gonna take this series between Not a Tryout and Big Birds 3.0, hit us with those in-chat predictions. #BIG or #NOT to make your vote heard. We are steamrolling towards game one. These players are as impatient as ever, but whoops, I wouldn't have it any other way. Give me your prediction. You know what, while we're at it, I have a feeling what you're gonna say, but maybe just don't say sweep and then that's it. I don't know. Or do.
I mean, I'm gonna have to die on this hill, but man, you can't bet against Reynolds. Like I said, he is such a solid player, and then when you pair him with Magic Bear, who is just a really, really good twos player as well, all you need is typically just them two on a team paired with anybody else in the whole entire world, and you have yourself a solid roster. But then you have Hoxer, okay, who's going to be on this roster for Not a Tryout. And Hoxer, former SSG, or currently on SSG, I guess you kind of say. Basically, pairing with Magic Bear and Reynolds, it's going to be such a tough group, or such a tough game, I guess you could kind of say, for this Big Bird 3.0. So I'm leaning over towards not a tryout, 100% 3-0 sweep. And if it's not that way, then I'm going to tell you what, I'm going to eat my shoe or something. I don't know.
All right, well, the numbers may have freaked out there just for a tiny moment, but what I do see are a bit more #NOTs in the chat than BIG. Shout out to Mr. Pepic for trying to inspire these Big Birds 3.0, but all that is said and done before the match has been completed. Game one as the players load into the lobby. Again, all series, best of 5 until we get to that grand final. 5 games potentially to prove why you wanted more. And we're underway here in the third Fall Showdown.
Yeah, this is exactly the start we're going to have to want here for Not a Tryout. Starting off with possession over towards the blue half of the pitch, and I'm telling you what, it's going to be a long day for Big Birds because we're going to spend a lot of time over here. Magic Bear trying to pop off and get that individual goal, trying to catch Yokes off guard, but going to be denied early on.
Yeah, this will be an interesting point of contention as the match goes on. Obviously, Reynolds and Magic Bear have this established chemistry as the previous season transpired. Hoxer is another player that you can plug into plenty of equations and still get the right answer. So we are kind of waiting for this relatively unknown quantity of Big Birds 3.0 to make their names heard. They've been bouncing around a couple of the other bubble events. They had their hand in trying to qualify for the 7th iteration of the draw, fell a bit short against teams such as First Class and the like, but they did manage to take a game off of Sukpartik in that very same qualifier. So there is potential here, right? It's not always going to be a complete stomp for not a tryout, but that's where you start to lean.
I mean, ultimately, end of the day, this is Rocket League. Anybody is beatable at the end of the day. And of course, like I said, Heps and, Yokes and these guys, they can come out here and they can definitely do that. They can take a game away because not a tryout can come out here and, just kind of fall flat on their face and not try as hard, I guess you could kind of say. Because, I mean, we're about a minute and a half into this game already, and I'm shocked to see this still a 0-0 scoreline, especially to see 3 pro RLCS players on this roster against potentially just 3 quote-unquote no-name people here. So they're doing a good job so far early on in this matchup, and the defense is standing strong.
Feels like not a tryout or a bit happier to sit back, wait for the opportune moment, try and grab something, and for what it's worth, the pickoffs of the passing plays have been pretty solid here from Big Birds, but they just can't find the clinicality in the offensive zone. Maybe here's a chance, but Yokes goes way too high and wide. Heps off the back wall. No double secured. Challenged by Jer Bear, but it's not going to find much else. Back out into the corner. And again, look at how happy they are to play it. Calm, cool, and collected. Not really fazed by that offensive push just yet.
Yeah, and this is exactly how Rocket League has kind of defaulted to. They default to this kind of more pass play style. You don't really see the individual flashy plays anymore. Those flashy plays are more like setups nowadays. You'll have a flip reset that sets up like a pass, or a flip reset that kind of baits out one of the defenders outside the box, and that's what Rocket League is evolving into, is this more, hey, team chemistry, we have to get the passing plays going, and if that doesn't work, we're going to go back to that demolition strategy and get these guys off the field so we can score.
Magic Bear collecting off the sidewall. This is a tricky one to take away. You've got everybody moving with pace on the same side of the net. Jer Bear does a solid job. We're 3 minutes in just about, still with no goals. Could Magic Bear deliver the first? Flip reset in hand, uses it early. Still has the air dribble and the challenge to boot. Hoxer picks up the rebound. Jer Bear bumped out of the picture. Heps jumped too early, but Yokes jumped just in time. They claw their way out of that precarious position and go back to the other side.
Yeah, not only that, but look at the rotation back through as well. There was an opportunity for Big Birds to have a counterattack set up, but not a tryout, just hustled back to the opposite end as Hoxer has an air dribble, maybe trying to go solo himself, but they had no boost on that transition. Hoxer doing a great job of getting a bump. You saw Magic Bear trying to get a bump as well, the play before that one to set some things up, but just falling to the wayside so far. Big Birds are standing strong.
Hoxer with a touch off the back wall. It's slow to clear, and it just invites Big Birds back into the zone. Heps with an early touch. Only 10 boost, has to fake it till he makes it. Not gonna find much else. Reddles downfield, double, almost on the redirect. Highlight reel nearly notched in game number 1. But 60 seconds to play, whoops, a demo. Plenty of bumps here. They're trying to disrupt the defensive sequence, but it's not coming to fruition. Meanwhile, Big Bird's the other way. Heps denied by Reddles. Magic Bear on the counter. It's a low floater that ends up at the goal line, but not much more.
I do like that play right there from Reddles, the takeaway, and then Magic Bear to be in position as well for that redirect upfield and put a shot on target that had to be respected. So that one came down to some nerves of steel from the defender. So good job on the hustle back from Big Birds. Only 30 seconds left to go now. Heps from the corner. Reddles with a good time, big time demolition. Magic Bear has this one sized up, looking for maybe Hoxer back towards midfield. I think Hoxer and Hoxer and Reddles both got tangled up towards that midfield line, so that pass is going to fall to the wayside, unfortunately.
Certainly just biding their time. Touch from Yokes, backboard. Magic Bear clears aside. Jer Bear up to the skies. Hoxer now with the clear in hand. Early challenge, but Magic Bear first to the ball. Another tap up. Reynolds has already jumped for the challenge. Gets enough of a bump away, but Magic Bear didn't have the pace. It hits the far corner. We go to extra time in game 1 with no goals. Whoops. I don't think anybody would have predicted this one.
No, not at all. Like I said, Big Bird standing strong right now, and not a tryout is pretty much non-existent as far as offense goes. I would say that. But I mean, it's been all pretty much defense at this point in time. And that's what's been so shocking for the most part. A lot of these opportunities just, being taken away before they even present themselves. It's some high-tier Rocket League.
It's been a large defensive performance from Yokes thus far. 3 saves. Heps recorded another one earlier in that sequence you just saw. Meanwhile, in the offensive department, just 6 shots on target for not a tryout. Now 7, but a large majority of them coming from Magic Bear. You kind of wonder whether or not that's the intended consequence. A big bump out, but Hoxer was in the right spot at the right time, not for the follow-through, but the crossbar is just a bit too high. That felt like the golden opportunity if there ever was one for Big Birds, but they've got to look again.
Yeah, that was such a big missed opportunity right there for Big Birds to take this game number 1 and pretty much put it in their pockets. Unfortunately, just does not happen. Epps is going to pop this one over into the corner. Reddles there. Oh, Hoxer! I was going to say he had that one, but Yokes just ripped it away. Magic Bear still sticks with this. It's one up towards the side wall. Here comes Reddles on the wraparound, and Yokes just gets the better of Reddles at that point in time, and they're at to start this offensive segment again.
You can tell that they're under extreme duress. The saves department has been kicked up for every player of Big Bird's far pass to Reddles' awkward angle, but it doesn't matter. It's punched home just over 90 seconds into OT. Not a tryout. It's the game 1 win. Maybe not the one they wanted, but the one that felt like they needed.
Yeah, I mean, definitely that one unfortunate, but I mean, pretty much the result that we expected, but not the scoreline we expected at all. Hats off to Big Birds 3.0 in this first game, walking away with about 9 saves. But look at the shots right there from not a tryout. Currently 12 saves, or 12 shots, my apologies, only 9 saves. So, I mean, that's a lot of missed opportunities for not a tryout. They cannot afford to have that, so they need to start striking pay dirt there.
Yeah, I think, basic stats only tell you so much of the story, but everybody does need to look at the fact that demos are 6-2, and not a tryout are clearly going to adopt that in order to make their playstyle more effective. There were a couple times where Big Birds got some solid goal line bumps, but, Hoxer was always in the picture to get a save, or somebody would contend with it early enough because the second person's rotating well enough in that sequence. Then you get to the demo game, and if not a tryout continue that pressure, Big Bird's defensive strategies have to change very quickly.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one. On top of that, you have to kind of think to yourself, how long can Big Birds 3.0 play at this level? The more and more that this goes on, especially being a scoreless game, you have to start thinking about the mental aspect of the game, because you start to see them towards that game number 3, it starts to all fall apart. Because, these guys, Reddles, Magic Bear, Hoxer, they're used to playing long, sustainable drives. As Hefts is going to score the first goal for Big Birds 3.0, getting a huge 50-50 from the corner, and then nobody home on the defensive end.
Hey, you want to talk about a Big Bird play? That's how you do it. You beat 2 in the corner, strong challenges, limited boost to get it done, but it doesn't matter. It's just 18 seconds is all it takes, and that kind of indicates to me, again, like, you don't want to think that the onus is on not a tryout right now, but you kind of want to see them take a multi-goal lead, and there's your quick response. Reynolds doesn't care. We're tied up again.
Yeah, huge response right here. Magic Bear, Reynolds hooking up. This is why they're teammates. Reynolds just lurking on the right-hand side. Net's wide open. Easy gamey goal, and this one's all tied right back up, like you said, so you have to start building yourself back up. And what I was trying to say earlier, though, Galgan, is just, Reynolds, Magic Bear, Hoxer, they're so used to just playing long tournaments at such a high level, playing against some of the best in this industry. Big Birds 3.0, they're doing a fantastic job, competing with them. And on top of that, had the lead for a short period of time. So, like I said, the longer this one goes on, I'm more interested to see how Big Birds approaches it.
It's the prospect of a great roster in the making, this current not a tryout squad, which is unfortunate because we have to take it at face value and assume that this is not a tryout and Hoxer will not be playing for Luminosity. Or who knows, with all the roster rumors, maybe they'll all end up on flip side tactics by the end of the offseason. Well, I mean, we'll have to wait and see, but
both rosters, though, like there's something great, there's something special about this Big Birds roster as well. Yokes, Heps, and, Jer Bear, you have to think, they're competing with Magic Bear, Reddles, and Hoxer right now.
And keeping it close. I think that's very commendable. But again, they know that they can do more. The potential is there. It's just all about getting consistent. Full 5-minute effort here. Hoxer had way too much time to take that shot. Magic Bear got a favorable challenge. And again, you can make an argument that even that one was a bit of a giveaway. But Big Birds 3.0 turn it right back around. Nice initial touch from Jer Bear, throwing off the expectations. It's just going to go back out to the middle of the field and we get neutral again.
Yeah, unfortunate right there. Yokes kind of hits that one over into the corner. I think Jer Bear had that one sized up. Hoxer trying to get the redirect as well, maybe catch him on the backside. Heps is in dangerous situation right there. Little to no boost to work with, and he was trying to just gauge that one and keep it outside the box, and fortunately that one falls to the wayside. But yeah, thinking back, man, this was a missed opportunity right there from Big Birds 3.0 because they had a good transition. They had the approach as well, but I guess they played the guessing game a little bit wrong.
Still playing as proactive as they need to. Trying to get up early on the play. Magic Bear, second touch. It goes wide off the double. Hoxer jumped, so did Reddles. That's an open gap. Yokes wants this goal, but Hoxer will have a redirect, almost a psycho of sorts, off the back, while Reddles cheating up, trying to get a goal line bump. Clear the line for Hoxer, but it's a pass to Magic Bear. Again, the odd angle shot strikes for not a tryout, and they're not successful that time around, but they certainly put a scare into the Big Birds.
Yeah, definitely with a huge save right there from Yokes, and maybe if Magic Bear didn't touch that one, it could have potentially went in, but I love the aggression right there. I love the side approach again. He's keeping the defense guessing and keeping those shots respectable for the most part. A little bit of trouble right now for not a tryout. Reddles had no boost on the back wall, still keeps that one at bay. Now he's going to try to put some more away from the nets. Hoxer have a good follow-up touch. 50-50 goes in favor towards Magic Bear, who has an air dribble. 1v1 versus Heps. Heps takes that one away early. Here comes Reddles now over into the corner. I'm just going to pop off the back wall, and I was going to say should fall towards the center, but good takeaway once again from Big Birds.
It feels like not a tryout on the other end. They can afford to play a bit slower because their positioning is so solid. Meanwhile, every counter from the team in orange has to be met with the same level of pace. Demolitions abound as well as Jerbear registers one, but Reddles trades it right on back. Hawks are now off the ceiling for a clip, but Heps denies early on. Magic Bear bumped, but still got enough of the ball to keep it center, and Reddles wants to get into this picture. Well, that's a tough picture to draw out, plan, and execute. Centered again, but a good block from Jerbear as defensively the Big Birds have to continue to shine.
Hawks are off of the ceiling now. Reddles trying to go for the quick redirect. Couldn't find the angle though. This battle for the midfield line so far. See not a tryout just controlling the pace of play. They're controlling the midfield line, keeping the pressure on. Magic Bear fires a shot. Yoka's gonna save that one away, but Reddles there for the putback. So solid individual performance right there from Magic Bear, and you see the communication. Reddles backing off, letting his teammate take the reins. I'm liking to see that growth right there from Reddles.
On the other end, you had Jerbear on the ground, Heps on the back wall, and Yokes on the goal line. You've got to make a clear decision about who's going for that ball, and Heps thought it was his turn, but pulled off. And that slight moment of indecision was what made that goal-scoring opportunity all the easier for not a tryout. They've got less than 40 seconds to close this one away. Heps wants a second goal, however, to spur this comeback. Jerbear out through the corner. 30 seconds now. The back pass attempt was there, but now it's put Heps on an island defensively to try and stave off this counterattack. They do, but Jerbear no pace to beat out Reddles on the follow.
17 seconds left here in game two. This one's definitely doable. They had the possession. Big Birds 3.0 were trying to get the equalizer to force that overtime again. Unfortunately, that one falls to the wayside. Magic Bear off the sidewall now, stalling more and more time, trying to go for the ground pitch, but Heps covers that one up. Final second on the clock. That one's going to find its way in. Hoxer going to get credited for that one, and not a tryout. Going to go ahead and hang on and win by 2 here in game 2.
And this is the kind of goal that makes you think we're headed to a bit of a blowout in game number 3. If I could see the future, well, life would be a lot easier, but that's besides the point. Whoops, how did we get all the way through 2 games and not call out that we have the Battle of the Bear going on between Magic Bear and Jerbear? This is a fabled 1v1 that we've got between these two, and I feel like, you know, that just has to be mentioned. I couldn't let that one stew any longer.
I mean, I think because we're professionals, Galgan, and that's why we didn't think about it faster than that.
Speak for yourself, buddy.
No, we didn't think about it faster than that in that aspect. But yeah, I mean, yeah, Magic Bear versus Jerbear. I love to see it. The Battle of the Bear. We're going to deem this one that. I like it.
Yeah, the Battle of the Bear. We'll see. I mean, again, if you want to talk about Jerbear's impact on this roster, I feel like oftentimes I lean on this crutch of talking about how often we physically mention a player, you know, whether it's on the ball movement, off the ball movement, whatnot. We've seen a lot from Heps offensively. We've seen a lot from Yokes defensively. Jerbear has been filling in the gaps for this team, and that's not a bad thing to do. But you almost kind of wonder if everybody gets a piece of the pie on the offensive side, can you bring that same overwhelming offensive pressure to the orange side of the field and really give yourself a fighting chance of taking this series?
I mean, only they know. That's the beauty of it. You know, it's their team. They have found their success. They made it here. They qualified, so on and so forth. And I like to say everybody has a role on a team. Not everybody has to be the slayer, the shooter, you know, the person who is just that dominant force, you know, the first killers of the team, the beast modes of the team. Everybody has a role. And when it's one cohesive unit working together and everybody knows their role, then that's what really makes something special of a team. And they have all these, you know, huge runs and these great runs inside some of these good tournaments.
Unfortunately, 2 players from the Big Birds were a bit too cohesive on their double commit, and it's really cost them a ton of offensive pressure against.
Open
but
net,
Heps, with a clear aside, it's not going to be strong enough to get on target as Hawkser finds Reddles. They're still close by, but that's the key difference. They're not going for the same ball. They're communicating how to get a quick 1-2 and not immediately send the ball back into the Big Birds' possession.
Exactly. They're being smart. They're being methodical about a lot of their touches, and on top of that, they're trying to play this guessing game, not trying to have this direct approach towards the net and keeping some of these players outside the box. But at the same time, those players are people like this Hawkser, who just has a a huge read right here. Watch this one back. You saw Heps. He thought he had a free clear. Actually, he just misses the ball, and Hawkser just strikes when the iron's hot.
Yeah, it's real unfortunate. Hawkser picked up that mid boost as well, so nobody else outside of the picture really had a chance of getting back in, and it's just one errant miss on the corner, but that's all it takes when your eyes are to the skies, and now, here we go.
Yep.
I can start to feel the floodgates opening. It's a second goal early on in Game 3.
I mean, this is what we were talking about. How long can these guys play at this level sustainably? You know, this is exactly what I was worried about. They've been doing such a good job. They did a great job last game, and then towards the tail end is when you start to see Not a Tryout really start to flourish. And Big Birds are going to start to struggle, let's say, mentally, because they're not used to playing at this high of a level for such a long period of time. And like I said, you have 3 of arguably some of the best players here on the pitch, you know, in this tournament. So this one should be an open door as well for Reddles. That one is closed, though. Jerbear does hustle back on the defensive end, and we're going to see if they can, strike back.
I mean, you heard the confidence from Reddles himself during the draft. Already had the Grand Finals matchup picked out, including his future opponents. We'll see how prophetic he truly is. In order to get to the Grand Finals, well, you got to get out of your group. And I don't think anybody's asking any questions about whether or not this team will make it out of their group. With goals like this still not even halfway through, the demo is just icing on a very tasty Not a Tryout branded cake.
I like cake. Cake is good.
Me too. Me too. What's your favorite kind of cake? Are you a... Sorry, I completely derailed that. Are you a red velvet enjoyer? Because I get that that's really divisive, but some people go crazy for it.
I don't go crazy for it necessarily, but I do like it. Man, carrot cake is so good too.
Ooh,
some pumpkin
that's
cake.
an underrated pick right there.
Yeah, carrot cake is slept on. It really is.
Yeah, I can absolutely support that. Speaking of being slept on, well, Jerbear's got a couple more extra seconds to get some much-needed rested eye. I was really fumbling how to say sleep there as Hawkser removes Jerbear from the field and swiftly scores a goal. Again, we don't want to sound, all doom and gloom about this, but we've seen this story before plenty of times, and it makes sense that we're having such a large scoreline difference in this kind of a game because it feels like the momentum has fully shifted.
Yeah, I mean, it's a tale of two things. I already mentioned the first one earlier about the mentality, how long can these players play at this level, and it was something I was worried about early on, but something we haven't thought about as well is the longer this one goes on, is the longer these guys are going to heat up and start to pick apart their defense, and start to take a lot of these opportunities in favor of themselves, a lot of these drives, and, the skill set's really going to start to show itself once you start to, pair that with such a... mentally draining series that you have going on in front of you. So we're going to see if this one keeps on progressing. Hawkser just a soft little chip shot towards the net. It's going to find its way in. That's the 5th goal here for Not a Tryouts. And I said this one's quickly getting out of control.
Yeah, fortunately for the side of Big Birds. Goal differential against them isn't going to hurt their chances of making it out. Again, they're not eliminated after a loss in this series. Double elimination of sorts. So they just have to make it through that lower bracket in spotless fashion here in Group A. But the job's not done just yet. We've seen crazier comebacks. There's about 90 seconds to score 5 goals. Problem is, every single time Not a Tryout get the ball, they make it count on offense, either on the first, second, or third shot. It's strong enough on target that it really makes it difficult for any team to see their way out of the defensive zone in quick fashion.
Yeah, 100% agree with you on that one, other than the fact that you said that this one's still plausible. I mean, if it was any other team out here on the pitch that was, up by 5 goals, I would 100% agree with you on that one. But with, down by 5 goals, 60 seconds left, and Big Birds 3.0, they definitely have been trying in some of the previous games, but I mean, they don't need more than 2 goals in the series, essentially, to push past this very, very good team that is Not a Tryout. So, unfortunately, I feel like this one's going to be it. As we see another approach here, they can probably go down swinging and maybe get a little bit of momentum and something to kind of write home to, or write home about, I guess you could kind of say. But definitely 35 seconds left and still scoreless. I think this one's all said and done.
If anything, it's a solid warm-up for what is to come in the rest of Group A. Less than 30 seconds to play, and Not a Tryout have all but secured that upper qualification match. Reddles with an air dribble all the way end-to-end. Tries to get a bump on Heps just to sow more confusion. Not gonna stick. Yokes waiting for that pass to fall right into the hands, but not to be either. Plenty of players having their anticipated plays disrupted. Double commit, double the save. It doesn't matter. 5-0 the result here as we tick down the final seconds, and Not a Tryout. It's a sweep that did not look quite as convincing at the start, but by the end of it, everybody knows that one team was destined to win this series before it even began.
Yeah, good showing right here from Not a Tryout. A lot of people expecting them to win this one. On top of all that, I think 90% of Twitch chat, or 98%, some ridiculous stats of Twitch chat, thought that they were going to win this matchup as well. And like I talked about before, Galgan, 3-0 sweep or bust pretty much at that point in time, because we just know how good this team is, and they came out here and they proved that. Maybe they didn't prove it in game number 1 and game number 2, but they definitely proved that towards the tail end, that who was the more dominant force in this matchup.
Exactly, and as you look to the rest of Group Number A, we do know Group Number A, my goodness, we do know the other result. Obviously, the 2 other teams being Flight and So Insane Gaming. So we will have Big Birds 3.0 play their first elimination match against So Insane Gaming, who were swept by Flight. I think that was an interesting point as well when we talked to Reddles during the draft. He gave a lot of, I hesitate to say a lot of credit, because Reddles, is a very confident player, but he gave some credit to Flight for being around the scene, trying their best in events, despite
you
going 0-9.
You said that very nicely, by the way. I mean, pretty much.
I'm trying to. Can you tell I'm trying to wrap this in the prettiest bow?
Why don't you just quote and just say what Reddles said? And I quote, Reddles said this.
Yeah, exactly. He didn't have a whole lot of great things to say, but listen, he'll have to put his money where his mouth is in the winners matchup of Group A, because Flight are waiting for them. Group C as well. We've seen Heybro and Clovarity both get sweeps over their opening round opponents in Cold and Rejects, respectively. I'm sure more results are going to file in as we go, but whoops. Final thoughts before we head to potentially a decider match here for this bracket and start to find out who our day 3 teams are going to be.
Man, just such a solid performance right there from, Not a Tryout. I just commend them very, very much. Like I said, not pretty much the first part, but towards the tail end, that's the team that we expected to see. It's definitely gonna be a little bit tougher for them, moving forward. That was one of their easier matchups for sure, but at the same time, this is still such a long tournament, and we still have tomorrow as well. So I mean, if you guys aren't doing anything tomorrow, definitely check out the stream and check out the championship, because I guarantee it's gonna be worth it.
Well, speaking of tomorrow, there are 8 teams out of these 16 that need to lock their spot in, and when we come back from this short break, well, we'll find out who one of the first are. We're headed to Group C to watch the upper bracket qualification match between Heybro and Clovarity. Wavy said that they've met each other time and time again in other tournaments, but this is the one that matters most right here and right now. Heybro versus Clovarity on the other side of this short break.
On my mind. On my mind. Tell me somebody how long he will be on my mind. On my mind. On my mind. On my mind.
Hello and welcome back again, everybody, to the Bandits on Wheels Fall Showdown number 3. We are just about underway here on day number 2. Plenty more Rocket League action to be had. Groups A and C have gotten their opening round matchups out of the way. My name is Galgan. Alongside me, Whoops you. And Whoops, let's take a look at the bracket thus far and what has transpired. Again, Groups A and C have gotten underway. Groups B and D yet to start. They will be underway very, very soon. But Whoops, I'm looking at 4 sweeps. What happened here? Tell me what you're thinking with 4 perfect 3-0s.
I mean, confidence right there in round number 1. Hey, bro, they came out, they said that, yeah, cold, we're going to 3-0 sweep them. Clovarity, 3-0 sweeping. This is the, 2 top tier teams. I'm not really surprised about those 2, but, switching of gears over back to Group A, that's So Insane Gaming, 3-0 flights. Like that one that's huge right there in my eyes. You know, Flight came to play, and you know, time and time again, they've been stepping up big time and proving as to who they are and proving themselves, you know, week in and week out, essentially in all these tournaments. So they only been getting better. So to see them sweep a good team like So Insane Gaming is definitely a good exclamation point for them.
And there's a whole lot of proving yet to be proven in this event. Speaking of doing just that, well, we've got a Group C upper bracket qualification match to watch here on the main stream. It's Heybro versus Clovarity, and there are very, very poignant storylines for both of these teams. I'm curious how chat feels about these teams and whether or not either is more likely to grab the win. So in a bit, you can hop in chat and give your predictions. I know, fancy technology. Hashtag CLV for Clovarity and hashtag hey for Heybro, keeping it nice and simple. Whoops. Let's talk about Clovarity first. Obviously, they debuted with TRYOUT, JPOW, and Oath. It didn't quite work out as well as they had hoped. It's now Ajax along with this roster as the third. How much do you think that dynamic changes as opposed to having Oath, or is it, you know, just kind of plug and play and see what works?
I mean, a lot of the rosters, you know, in particularly in the Bandits on Wheels or whatever tournaments it may be, there are a lot of just kind of playing around, trying out some of these other players. And, you know, you have to mix and match. You have to keep things fresh. And on top of that, see who the quote unquote problem is of the team, why you guys aren't getting over that hurdle, why you guys are not finding that success that you're just so desperately hoping to do so. So, I mean, a replacement like this, especially for such a solid player, you know, you're really not losing much value. If anything, it more adds to your roster, you know, because like I said, you have a little bit different of a dimension. We were talking about Heybro. I know Wavy was being a little bit cocky going into this matchup. They said that they won the last 2 times, so they're currently 2-0 against Clovarity. But I think this one's going to be a little bit tougher, Galgan, because of the fact that the last time they played each other was, I believe, earlier this month. I think it was early as last week in the Hercules event. They won that matchup 3-0 in a sweep, but it was still like a 3-1 scoreline, 2-1 scoreline, and another 2-1 scoreline. So, I mean, it was close matches the whole entire time.
And I think the thing to keep in mind for Heybro as well that they'll want to take into a match like this is that they are champions of Fall Showdown number 1 and runners-up of Fall Showdown number 2. So by the law of Galgan that I just made up right now, they are destined for a 3rd place finish this tournament. But in order to get 3rd, you gotta get out of your groups, and Heybro will look to do just that in the top spot over Clovarity here. Predictions have hit the chat. I see a little bit both ways, honestly. Feels like it could be close to a toss-up, especially with this newer Clovarity roster. But I think it's about time to get things underway. Whoopsie between these two teams. Best of 5 upper qualification match. Who are you taking here?
Man, it's a tough one. Honestly, I really want Heybro to kind of come out here and do Heybro things and be successful. I'm a huge fan of Wavy and company, but I think it's going to be a tougher matchup than what Wavy puts on. I really feel like Clovarity is going to come out here and they're going to put their best foot forward. I think I'm going to have to side with Heybro still. They're the Bandits on Wheels, runner-up to the champions. I'm sorry.
Yep, they've got too high of a pedigree when it comes to these particular events, and hey, maybe we're just their lucky charm. We'll have to see if that luck has ran out here against the 4-leaf clover holders themselves in Clovarity. It's game 1 of the best of 5. Heybro and Clovarity, the winner, moves on to day number 3. The loser drops down, not out of the tournament, but they'll have to take another series home to guarantee a shot at taking home the trophy.
Yeah, this is going to be a good matchup, I tell you guys right now. Probably one of the best ones of the stream. I know the best one for us for sure, and I wouldn't have it any other way because I'll tell you what, like I said, the last time they played each other, it was so close. I think I was actually casting that match, and I was actually watching it, and it was closer than it even presents itself, even though it was decided by that 1 goal. So it's going to be definitely a different look with Ajax right here on the roster. It's going to be a good thing right here for Clovarity, but Heybro, a force to be reckoned with.
You're certainly not, injecting a completely new face into the picture here for Clovarity. Ajax has been around the block and then some.
Yeah.
Knows his way around the game, so I don't think that's of any issue for Clovarity, but it's this specific matchup, right? Creams and Hockey, again, are that duo that you look for in this type of event and in this bubble scene in particular, and Wavy has fit in excellently to this team to a point where I don't think many people expected Heybro to have as much success as they have. Wow. But when you have Wavy pulling off shots like that, success is the only thing you start to get used to.
I was going to say, when he's popping off, he is absolutely on fire. And look at him go right here, using all of that boost, maintaining his aerial, and on top of that, putting a powerful shot on net and on target. So Hebro up first, and that's why we believe in this team so heavy, is because of the fact that Wavy can pop off and do things like that. And then of course, like you said beforehand, you got Creams, you got Hockey, two names that we don't really have to go into great detail about, and you just know that when their presence is out there on the pitch, then good things happen.
I've got to call it out when I see it as well. Every single Hebro character, I believe, has the exact same preset down to the boost, which is insanely impressive. I wonder how long that lasts for if this series starts to go haywire for Hebro, but for the time being, I am living in that uniformity right now. It feels insanely official, and hey, it's working for them. You can tell the confidence is just oozing out just like that boost.
Oh my goodness, you didn't just hit me with that pun right now live on the arrow. I can't allow that to happen anymore. No, I'm just joking. I do like it as well. I was going to point that out too, but yeah, the uniform. So if you guys want to be wearing the Hebro uniform, go ahead and get you guys a little bit of the slime boost. And I'm not sure what decal that is, but maybe catch what wheels they're wearing either. But yeah, I like it, man. The uniform, like you said.
I think it's, I could be totally wrong about this. I think it's called Filiformer. But I'd love to be fact-checked on that, and I'd love to, know exactly what this preset is so that I can win all my ranked games, because clearly all of my opponents are of the same caliber. Actually, it might be a different one. Anyway, I digress. We're halfway through. Hebro with 1 goal. Clovarity have been shut out pretty strongly here. It hasn't been too apparent offensively. Meanwhile, the other way, Hockey grabs that on the clear. 2nd goal for Hebro.
Yeah, that's a solid touch right here. Creams brings it upfield. Just a nice, solid, touch right here to finish this one off for Hockey. TRYOUT couldn't catch up to that one. So catching the defense off guard on the back end is Hebro. Now they're up 2-0. This is how things typically start off right now for Hebro. They start off, in front, hot. Clovarity usually claws their way back into these series, so hopefully that one stands true. Ajax, great save off the backboard. Nonetheless, Hebro on fire, but there's still 2 minutes left, Galgan. Nothing to really panic about just yet.
And see, Twitch chat got me on the Filiformer call, so if nobody got me, I know chat got me, which is fantastic, because people accuse me of not knowing ball. Well, I know my decals, so that's worth, significantly less, but I will take that personal victory as much as Hebro would love to take a victory here in game number 1. T. Carell, double, it's there, it's down into the ground, and a 3rd touch to boot, but J. Powell just kind of happy to be there at the top of the box. No shot to be seen. Have to back up and try again. Ajax with a flip reset. Creams blocks. Here's Shaypow to take a turn. 1-2. There's the 2nd touch again, and it has just enough pace to make it into the back of the net.
Yeah, solid touch, and on top of that, it applied with so much pressure. Only about 30 seconds off the clock, but we spent the 30 seconds or more over here on the orange half of the field, and you have to think that something was going to open up eventually, and that's exactly what happened. And if you look at the boost meters as well during that play, Hebro was starting to be suffocated, and that's what opens up the door for them as well. So only down by 1 now is Clovarity. They find themselves in a pretty decent position.
It's almost like an investment of sorts, where how much time are you spending in the offensive zone versus how quickly can you score when you get there. Because all that time burnt off the clock is less for Clovarity to make this comeback happen, but they've only gotten stronger as the game has gone on, getting some of their better chances. 60 seconds to play. Hockey. Demo onto Creams breaks up the play. J. Powell at the sidewall trying to stall that one out for Clovarity to get to, but it is a mad dash across the midfield line, and Hebro win it out and try and lock this ball back into the blue zone, but a good exit here could help Clovarity get a step forward.
I do like what I've seen from Ajax right there as well. He was upfield trying to be a little bit of a disruptor, and he was, going for a bump, trying to catch the defense, on their heels, and that one could have slowly rolled its way into the net. But 25 seconds left in this game number 1. So far, Hebro doing a pretty decent job controlling the pace of play, controlling what's going on out here. This is a 2v1 situation, Hockey versus Wavy. Wavy does get a demo onto Ajax, but still a good save. Creams almost with a double. Wavy with the putback as well. That one's going to be denied. Final seconds ticking away. Hebro starting to wake up on the offensive end. Can they get the job done? That one's off the woodwork and falls its way towards midfield, but nonetheless, 0 seconds on the clock. That one's taken away. Wavy kills it towards the blue half. Hebro hang on.
See, I love it, what we just saw at the end of the game, though, because Hebro could have just sat back with a 1-goal lead and waited and just thought, you know, maybe Clovarity aren't on it offensively right now, so we can just give them the light of day, and they won't take the better shot anyway. But the shots are dead even. It's just one fewer for Clovarity, and that's the difference maker. Hebro get up at the final 20 seconds. They're finding these touches high up in the air. Again, it's something that you expect these players to pull off consistently, but when they do it in a clutch situation like that, where it's either be conservative or don't let Clovarity have the ball, in order for them to make that choice of not letting Clovarity have the ball and do so that successfully, it's a really good omen for the rest of the series.
Yeah, look at the ball possession as well. I think it was 58% in favor of Hebro. So, I mean, you have to have a little bit more participation on the offensive end if you are Clovarity, if you have any chance of hanging in this game with them. You need to take away those opportunities from Hebro. But I know it's tough. You know, you have three solid players like Hockey and Creams, and then, of course, like you said, Wavy showing off his aerial ability as well. Creams is a great pinch wraparound. Can they get it? Oh, my goodness. The Cuxier pinch with the corner.
It's just in. Absolutely insane. Pull out the protractors. It went far side, but it didn't even hit the post. All right, you know what? I think Creams had a chip on his shoulder from that last goal. People calling him out for not scoring. Well, okay, score that insane pinch, why don't you?
That was something else. Like I said, the Cuxier pinch, you usually just see that one, it just goes right into the net. That one, like you said, you needed a protractor, a compass, whatever you need to bust out that angle. And yeah, he found that one. And like I said before, Creams can score at any given moment. Hockey can score at any given moment. I know we're so used to talking about Hockey being like a solid third man back, especially filling some of his shoes that he does on the Northwood roster. So yeah, pair that with Wavy, who can pop up at any given time. You have yourself a special team.
It all comes down to how consistent they are about it. I know I say that a lot, but it's so true. The peak moments for all of these players are profound, but it matters what they do when play starts to lull, slow down a little bit. Maybe not everybody's on the mark in the lobby at the same time. For the time being, it's Hebro in the ascendancy. Wavy, pass to Cream, solid touch at that, and it's forced a awkward stance here out of the defense for Clovarity, trying to get this clear. It's a good challenge to allow J-Pow space, but a big block here from Hockey in the corner. Hebro do not allow Clovarity to get anything going. The playbook has to get some new pages and fast.
This is where Hebro likes to thrive right here. They're going to just start taking precious seconds off the clock, and I know they're only up by 1 goal, but sometimes that's all you need is that 1 goal dominance. But you have to be careful. Clovarity can catch you guys on your heels. Here comes Wavy now off the backboard. Nice 50, the demolition as well. Hockey still left there to play defense by himself. Ajax, no boost, gonna float that one towards center. Wavy fires that one right back towards the blue half, and we're gonna start to see the setup here from Hebro. So say Clovarity desperately needing a long clear towards their opposite end, and J-Pow provides them with that.
Ajax with a soft pop to the back wall. Wavy is up there, Wavy is gone, but the shot's not on frame. Creams has an easy time taking it aside. Hockey to the top corner, clears another one as more time ticks off the clock. Wavy again with an air dribble, too far removed for a bump, and J-Pow will play a double off the own backboard just to get it clear. But what do Clovarity do to get multiple chances in succession? Well, you have to ask that question another time as Hockey goes back down the other way. The counterattack successful, the lead doubled.
Yeah, good play right here from Hockey. Is sending himself towards the opposite end once again, and just, it's all you need. Solid touch, positioning, game sense, whatever you want to call it. Being at the right place at the right time, a little bit of luck. See what I did there, Clovarity? No, I'm just saying. But at the same time, I mean, that's all you need is just a solid player who's just at the right place at the right time, and, they're provided that. T. Corral, he has woken up. He decides to go ahead and get himself a nice little double, and that's just a mistake from the defensive end.
You know what? Fair play. Maybe not exactly how T. Corral wanted to hit that, but it still works, and I think it works better than an intentional hit because it confuses the Hebro defense so much. Again, I like to talk about this with high-level play, the expecting the unexpected idea, where everybody kind of anticipates you're going to make the best possible touch on the ball. So when you purposely or not so purposely make a bad touch but it still works out, that can be just as confusing, if not more so, for the defense to deal with.
Yeah, on top of that, the follow-through on the shot, too. Even though he saw Creams there on the backboard, TRYOUT still followed through on his shot. And that's just like a basketball player's, our coach's dream right there. When you shoot that three and you say, hey, you got to follow through on that shot to get the rebound potentially. That's exactly what happened there. You apply that into Rocket League terms. TRYOUT gets himself a goal, but knocking on the door once again, maybe trying to tie this one right back up. Clovarity, bar clear. J-Pow controls it over into the corner. Ajax called off. Actually, he cuts that one off, and that's going to set TRYOUT up with a nice little air dribble as well. Creams is there for the response.
You're really starting to see the mechanics come out for Clovarity as well. Problem is they get a little too far away from the ball before it gets to where they need to go. On the contrary, Heybro are keeping it as close as they can. Wavy with an early jump doesn't connect, but TRYOUT's too far removed. Ajax comes through. J-Pow in support, doesn't waterfall down. That'll make J-Pow's job a bit harder. TRYOUT, however, hits the spot, and hey, you want to talk about intentional. You gotta give credit where credit is due. TRYOUT knew what needed to be done on the follow-through and gets another beautiful goal.
He just looks like he's out of control, but it's in control chaos right there. TRYOUT, little boost, and he just somehow finds a way to get that shot on target. And this is what I was expecting to see right here from Clovarity. It was just a solid performance from them, paired with Heybro just being in their way the whole entire time. And, you know, it's pretty much their worst enemy. TRYOUT, though, showing as to why he's one of the elite players here. Nice save coming off the backboard as well. The follow-up touch going to be denied, too. Creams definitely wanted that one. J-Pow now is released. Going to float that one right back towards the backboard. Wavy. Here's over into the corner. 35 seconds, though, Gaugen. Who is going to win this one?
It's tough to call. Clovarity happy to let Heybro play it back into the blue zone. Challenge in the corner. Hockey unsuccessful. Wavy has a defender behind him, but it doesn't really matter. Still gets it center. Creams has plenty of space to set something up and does dime it out to Hockey.
Wow.
But a good save from J-Pow coming down from the back wall. 15 to play. They've got to find their way out here, Clovarity, unless they want to play for OT. But Heybro don't look too concerned. They want to find this third in regulation. 5 seconds. Creams has a chance at the sidewall, but no shot to see. Turn now by Wavy. One last pop, one last chance as TRYOUT goes all the way to the bottom corner, but J-Pow misses, and we get extra time.
Overtime, game number 2. One of the best fields here in Rocket League as well. What more can you ask for? But who's going to win it is the biggest question. I know Clovarity wants this one back. Oh, Creams with the go-ahead goal. J-Pow was the last person back. He couldn't catch up to it. But watch Creams and his positioning just turns on a dime and then follows through with a shot as well. Heybro take 10 seconds to pull this one off.
And listen, you can sing all the praises you want about Heybro and how they win that overtime in quick fashion. Now they've got a triple match point. Hip, hip, hooray! Clovarity. You called it out, Whoops. J-Pow was the last person in that sequence. TRYOUT and Ajax found so much of each other's cars that they had no rights to be in that defensive sequence. So it's that one tiny mistake, that one double commit that seals it in a very sour tasting finish for Clovarity that just, it felt like they were getting stronger as the regulation time went on. You could say the same about game number 1 as well, just couldn't quite finish it off. But this best of 5 is starting to move very quickly, and almost finishing it off, but not quite getting there is not going to do it for Clovarity. They need that it factor.
Yeah, and like I said before, going into this series, I know that the stat lines are 3-0 sweep the last time these two teams met, and a 3-1 the first time they met. So currently right now, Heybro 2-0 in the head-to-head battle. But at the same time, you can look and see out here on the pitch, these are very, very close games. Although I want Heybro to, potentially win this matchup because that's what I predicted, you can see as to why Clovarity, it's like such a 50-50 close one. I would maybe say 60-40 because it just depends on what team you start to see from Clovarity. They start to heat up towards the tail end of that game. And on top of that, Heybro, maybe a little bit playing docile just a tad bit to bait them out. But nonetheless, we find ourselves in game number 3 and Heybro on match point.
You heard her here first. I'm in the booth with Heybro's #1 fan.
Yep.
Can't believe you're letting the bias come through. You know what? I'll counter it. I'm pulling for Clovarity. I want a reverse sweep. I want the content right now. Problem is, there's only so much I can do to will Clovarity to a win. It's within the players and their own right here. We need to see it from everybody, not just double taps from TRYOUT, but, some other step up here for the squad.
No, I mean, don't get me wrong. I think Clovarity are a very, very good team, like I said before. But, when we did predictions, you asked me who I thought was going to win, and I was torn. I really was. And on top of that, I just, with all the success Heybro's had lately, and You know, they always find themselves in these weird situations where they can't close out a game or they get blown out for some strange reason when they're not playing. So there's always that question mark kind of left behind them, even though they prove themselves time and time again, week in, week out. They're such a solid team, and you know, then we get to the grand finals and you meet a monster and they just get swept for some reason, and then you sit there, you're wondering why and how it happened.
Sometimes the best rivalries in all aspects of sport are forged in the moments where one team has had enough and finally gets their get back. First step of many to evening up the all-time score between these two teams. But for right now, it's Heybro who have full control of that. TRYOUT wants to control this ball towards the goal. Wavy demoed. Hockey still with a clear anyway. Not a whole lot of boost, but it doesn't matter. The demo showed enough confusion that this ball will end up in front of the net. Wavy punches it home. And Heybro, they just have the key right now.
Yeah, I was going to say, if they did not score this one, that would have been so deflating to see them not score. You see Hockey kind of just park his car in the net. He's like, somebody please put that back in. I did all I possibly can to put this ball in scoring position. I bumped 15 people going there, the same person, 14 times. But whatever it may be, they get the job done in the tail end of it. And of course, it's Wavy who solidifies that goal for Heybro.
Got a solid start. Still half of the game and change to play. Hockey, though, with a clear, has Wavy already down the middle of the field. That play formulated before it even physically existed. And yet Wavy knew, Hockey knew, everybody but Clovarity knew they had solid spacing between the players, but they got caught looking at the goal being scored.
Yeah, I don't know. J-Pow went and he just reacted just a tad bit too late coming off that sidewall. He did everything he possibly can to jump the gun and take that passing opportunity away. Then Ajax was there on the back end as well, so maybe be the last person who's going to save that one away. And everything just did not work out in Clovarity's favor, and it worked in favor of Heybro. So they strike once again, being up 2-0 now, halfway in this game. And see Clovarity once again dug themselves a hole and they had to find their way out of it.
It's Creams. Opening things up again for Heybro. Hockey takes a follow through. It's slow towards the top corner, but the confusion is starting to settle in here. Ajax bumped away from the initial touch. J-Pow takes over. TRYOUT connects. Could be another double denied by Creams, but J-Pow comes through. And nobody's really going to save that follow-up when so many committed above the crossbar. It's down below where J-Pow strikes.
I think TRYOUT got a nice bump right there onto Creams, and on top of that, just stuck with him, locked side to side. That's that rule one side by side right there, and going for that squishy save didn't really work out because TRYOUT was just locked in with him. He bumped him off target. So solid play right there from Clovarity. Only took about 20 seconds to score. J-Pow now maybe trying to strike when the iron's hot. TRYOUT up in the air too. Hockey gets the better of him right now. Ajax, weird approach to that one, going for a flip reset, maybe going for a pass, but this one might find itself dead in the water. Have to have a reload here from Clovarity.
You can see the inspiration, though, for Clovarity. Whenever they score, they get this little spark about them that they know they can do it again. Creams, massive denial to make there in the middle of the net on a powerful shot. Good read. Starting to really see Ajax come into his own as well offensively. They've got to watch themselves. The threat is not quite gone just yet. 80 seconds to play. Heybro at the middle of the field, trying to get something started again, but are they going to be able to resume the same overwhelming offense that they had at the end of game one, or do they really have to hunker down and defend this one-goal lead?
They really need to bring this one back over towards the orange half of the field. Clovarity does, because time is running out. 60 seconds are on the clock, and I want to reiterate the fact that Heybro is on match point. They're currently up 2-0 in this series. All they need to do is win this one, hold on to the ball, and they've, pretty much sweep Clovarity once again. Ajax from the sidewall, bring this one right back towards midfield. A flip reset. That was easily read. J-Pow trying to get the dunk and trying to maybe get something going. Good demolition on the back end as well. Question is, where's TRYOUT? He gets dunked right there towards midfield. That one falls towards the back wall.
Creams to the skies could be the final sequences of this series. Ajax, nice redirect. It's over the head of Wavy. Hockey almost bumped away, but still stays poignant as ever. At the top of the box, all the way back. J-Pow denies, but here's the follow-through from Creams. Overshot the ball and had to readjust. But now Heybro have possession deep in the zone with 10 seconds to play. Do they let it slip through? Maybe for a brief moment. TRYOUT with a challenge against Hockey. Now Ajax on the follow-through, but too strong is the save the ball is grounded. And hey, bro, in today, number 3 through the upper bracket without dropping a single game.
That was insane right there. And that's pretty much, exclamation point for me, Galgan. Going into this matchup, we knew it was going to be a tough one. Hey Bro sweep once again. Wavy called it early on, but at the same time, you can pretty much attest to this. It was such a closer game than what the stat line appears to be, because that last drive right there, you really believe that Clovarity had a chance to bring that one back in regulation, and then you just see it all fall to pieces. And that's pretty much what always happens on a drive against Hey Bro when it's Clovarity.
It's the point that I made in the middle of the series, and it's still so true, where Clovarity are right there. But being right there is half of the equation. Bringing yourself over that line is what you need to get done. And if we're going to have this conversation about what we saw from specific players and what we didn't see from others, we saw a lot from T. Carell trying to spur the offensive push. Ajax was coming into it towards the end, but at the end of the day, it's like Clovarity have the capability to win a series like that and win games like that. But hey, bro, something is clicking with this squad, and I'm super happy that it is, because they have just consistently been in the picture. No matter who they're facing, they have a solid shot of taking those games, and a win like this further cements that legacy for them in this offseason.
Yeah, I mean, I really feel like Hey Bro is definitely one of the front runners here. And we could potentially see the two teams that me and you casted, in the grand finals going head to head against each other. Obviously, if that kind of pairs up like that, because if you think back to Hey Bro, they were defending their championship last time in Bandits on Wheels number 2. They won number 1 already. This is number 3. The only team that beat them was that Shopify Rebellion team. I think it was two-piece Parth in Chicago, Chicago from G2. So, I mean, that just goes to show you like what kind of team has to take down this Hey Bro squad. And guess what? We have one of those teams here, and that's, Magic Bear Reynolds and the other guy, the one I never heard of before.
Right, exactly. So at any rate, we've got our winners of Group C. It is Hey Bro. Clovarity are not out of the tournament. They will wait to play the winner of Cold versus Rejects in that decider match for Group C. Group A, of course, starting to wrap up their action, but there's still 2 other groups who have yet to kick off. An entire second half of the show is abound. Group B and D will get their matches underway shortly, and we have got Pyro J and Visionary One coming onto the stream to guide you through here on twitch.tv/tactical banditry. But for Whoopsie and myself, Galgan, thank you so much for tuning into this first half. We've got plenty more action to come right after this short break. Don't go anywhere.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Fall Invitational, of course, brought to you over here by Bandits on Wheels and Tactical Banditry. My name is Visionary1. Alongside me today is Pyro J. Pyro, it's been a minute since we've been in the booth, brother. How you doing today?
I'm doing wonderful, Visionary. Always when I'm alongside you, brother. Listen, we've been watching the bubble of Rocket League and all the way up to the top of these pro teams like, Not a TRYOUT and all these other squads like Clovarity. We've been keeping an eye on these guys for years. So to have another fall showdown going down, we're just getting to the end of this day 2, getting ready for day 3, man. These last qualifier spots, I'm just ready to get into it.
I am too, not to mention the guy's playing for 8K. So it's not like a pittance. It's not a small sum. It's not a monthly. This is big money, of course, provided. And thank you to Psyonix for providing that for these players. But we have a matchup to focus on here, of course. Sure. We just watched Clovarity. They dropped a Hey Bro. I can't say anybody has been surprised by that just yet because Hey Bro has been killing it this entire offseason.
I'm with you there.
They're going to be going up against the Rejects here. We can see going to make it through to day 3 lowers.
Yeah, so this is going to be a rematch. You can check it out on Group C. They already played against each other. Clovarity had a sweep. I was watching this match on Hootie Who's channel. Rejects did they had their good and their bad moments, and they're also terrible moments. Like, there are times where they just look sloppy. So I'm looking for them to regain that composure because this is Voltero and Zapatos. They've been playing together for how long, right? As they regain that composure, I'm hoping that Skippy ends up being a really good third for them. This is somewhere where Rejects finally have that chance to regain that brilliance that we've seen from them before.
I think the big thing as well when we kind of look at it, right, is the difference in between Zapatos and Wavy, right? Both of them very known for their ones play, but Wavy seems to be integrating into threes just a bit better than Zapatos has been so far. And it could also come down to quality of team. I'm not going to sit here and try to, disparage anybody that's actually running this. It just seems like Wavy's kind of come in and had instant success, while Zapatos has kind of been here for a hot minute. But we're going to go ahead and talk about Group A as well. Of course, we got Not a TRYOUT and Flight. Flight won that one 3-2, even though it says 2-2 on your screen. So Not a TRYOUT is going to be playing Big Birds 3.0 in the lower side. So Rattle's getting sent off to lowers in this bracket.
I have so much to talk about with that match because if you've been following Reynolds' stream himself, you can tell that they're having fun in comms, right? So it's not like we're hard calming, we are trying our absolute best, but they're still pros that have played an international event after international event, so you expect them to take these wins. I'm surprised for them to not defeat Flight with Rapid, who's in the lobby calling himself a 15-year-old mechanical prodigy, right? That's what the name he loves to do in games. And you know what? Shout out to Flight because that's not an easy match to win, even if they're not hard calming every single match. So good on them for making their way through the qualifier, but you gotta expect Not a TRYOUT to take out Big Birds again in that lower.
Rapid just might have had a good series as a 15-year-old mechanical player. He's just identifying as what he wants to identify as currently. So good for that kid, of course. Definitely love to see that. Obviously, Group C and Group D action is going to be brought to you here pretty soon. I'm pretty sure Aris' team has taken a resounding lead so far versus Dope. I saw them come out to a hot 2-0 lead on Hercules' stream. So we're going to continue to kind of monitor the situation with the Group B action that's going on. But we have Clovarity and Rejects that will be coming up to you very soon, of course. Also, chat, we have a prediction for you guys too, so I'm definitely big hype for that. So go ahead, start getting your predictions in. REJ and CLV, go ahead, type the hashtag into chat. We're going to see who's going to kind of predict out the wins. But is there anything that really stands out to you in this matchup here, Pyro?
Yeah, a ton. Listen, I already spoke plenty about the Rejects. I'm really excited again to see Zapatos and Voltero playing together back when they did with Iced Up for so long. But let's talk a little bit more about Clovarity. J-Pow in their first series scored 5 of the 10 goals that he did in that series and assisted a few as well. He's had very high goal participation, so I expect J-Pow to be very instrumental in a win here for Clovarity. But it would go, I would be remiss without mentioning T. Corral. T. Corral has been popping off with the double taps in this last matchup that they just played. Even though they came out with the losses, they kept the games close, and you can see that their peak potential of Clovarity is very high. So as they fill in Ajax, how quickly can they get to that peak? This rematch against Rejects will speak to that.
Certainly will. And I think the biggest thing for me is like J-Pow's been here for so long now, and he's always been like that pop-off player that has that potential, but we've never seen it consistently, right? So I'd really like to see him kind of bring that out, be consistent with it today. It looks like he has been so far. But I mean, that old X-Set roster, and he was playing with Ajax back then as well, right? If I'm not mistaken. They were on the team together.
Really leaf back through the reports on that one.
We're talking 3.5 years ago. We're talking pre-COVID Rocket League. So,
whoa, did that even exist back then?
That's my thing. I don't know. This game hasn't been out for 9 years.
It's a good call. We have a lot of, you could call them vets here, and even J-Pow has been working some of the off-season Rocket League tournaments with I think he won one of the draws with Adam and company. So like they're putting in work. We expect them to go deep, but they've got to make this match work. There's only one qualifier spot left in their pool, and Clovarity appear keen to take it. What do you think is the metric to success if you are rejects though? Because you're coming off of having already been swept by Clovarity, Visionary 1. How do you rebound off that?
Well, I love the run back, right? You got yourself some momentum. You won the lowers to get here. I think, honestly, like getting Zapatos and Volt in space is kind of your ideal situation, right? So I think that predicates on some aggression up front and just not getting ego challenged the entire time, right? You have to be able to get that space on the pitch to let Zapatos be able to do his work. And I think that's kind of the big key for me, because if Zapatos starts getting something going, you're going to see Clovarity kind of sit back on their heels because he has the ground game that everybody knows as well, right? And that Sentio, I don't know how he uses it, but I mean, it's definitely out there. But I mean, I think that's kind of the thing is you have to just kind of beat the consistency in the midfield of Clovarity to be able to be successful.
Yeah, the midfield presence is going to be really important. Listen, I'm not going to hate on Zapatos for his car choice. I'm a Harbinger user, and which recently caught some attention with Breezy's tweet, but we'll get to that another time. I always like a chance to talk about the Harbinger, but we've got more things to get to. This is the rematch between Rejects and Clovarity. Clovarity having already swept them. Can they do it again here for the qualifier of day 3?
Win or go home is the situation right now, Pyro, and as we continue to see this already, a lot of early pressure coming off from Clovarity. J-Pow going to be up for this one. Shot opportunity going to be denied by Zapatos diving off the back wall, but that is a double commit as the pressure continues coming around the corner for Clovarity. Ajax going to have some space here. Skippy actually takes a nice patient challenge in the midfield and gets them the first touch that has not been in the blue half for the entirety of this game so far.
Yeah, I mean, listen, we're still in the first minute. We got time to do that. They're doing all right. For me, Rejects, I just need coordination. I mentioned how I noticed some sloppy moments from them against their match in Clovarity that was streamed earlier, where they were a little bunched up. You know, that range of field has to be expanded as well if you want to control the midfield, which was a comment that you mentioned on earlier, Visionary 1. So let's see if Voltero can get there, maintain that composure, try to get the ball to the other end.
I'm not going to lie to you. It's not too often that you have to say two names with a V in the same match, so it could be a little bit difficult. Nice little pass back to Voltero, but not going to be enough pace on this one to really be dangerous at all as TRYOUT's going to scoop it off the backboard. Like what I'm seeing from both these teams right now, it's kind of just a patient play. Really your traditional game 1 of Rocket League, right? No one really trying to impose their will just yet. As a bump's actually going to come out. Skippy's somehow going to get a save here. Zapato's getting bumped off of that. This is just magnificently awkward for everybody involved as Skippy's going to find somehow some way to at least get a clear and buy a little bit of time here. As Zapato's going to be on the ground, going to get a beat on one as well. Has a lot of space in this 1v1 versus J-Pow. Pinch attempt across the net. Voltero going to rocket it in. And that's going to be a 1-0 lead for the Rejects and just kind of some awkwardness, but you see how far Clovarity's pushed up there.
Yeah, they were pushed up, and J-Pow, you can try your best on the defensive end, but look what happened exactly what you called for, Visionary 1. Zapatos was given the space on the ground, and it looked like a weird touch where Zapatos couldn't quite pull it into the net, but really it was a perfect air dribble pass up the backboard to Voltero. And no surprise to see Voltero picking that up right off the bat from the pass, because these two work like a charm together.
They are just a calculated score. Oh my, Skippy with the field side flip. It leads to a counterattack just because so much space is available. J-Pow does get a good touch here, but it's going to be a giant double commit as well. Skippy going to get this out in front of the box. Here's Voltero, light shot down. Not going to be able to find it through TRYOUT. Zapatos has to go on and back on defense. But like I said, like it's been solid so far. I'm seeing a lot of kind of just awkwardness, like you said, but sometimes the awkward can play in your favor because if you don't know what you're doing, they don't know what you're doing.
it's like who's going to be the agents of chaos? Who's going to rise above it all? That's going to be the big question mark as the series goes on. Didn't know if we were going to see a Psycho there out of Skippy, but he gets a good touch regardless, puts it in a safer territory towards the side wall. And you know what? If there is a situation in game 1 or beyond in this series where rejects do go down in the game towards Clovarity, I expect them to still make a comeback. I think the way they qualified here for this day 2 was when they came from an 0-3 deficit in game 5. Like, this team at any point can come back and make sure they can will themselves to a victory.
It certainly seems like it. Skippy there, did you see that side flip and he somehow recovered and still blocked the shot? Like, there's just some things that these players are starting to do where, like, recovering from mistakes that they make is just absolutely mind-blowing to me, because otherwise, back in the day, that would have been like, I crap flipped, guys, sorry, we're gonna have to get back on D, something's gonna have to happen here, but no, he's just gonna hang in the air, be able to take care of that. And the way that Rocket League has evolved, and you mentioned the Harbinger, of course, with Breezy, continuing to see the growth of this game and new things being found that could potentially be used, like 9 years into basically the game's life, it just blows my mind, Pyro.
Skill ceilings ever elevating here for the game of Rocket League, and a lot of these players on the field now showing us exactly how you can climb to it. Zapato's trying to climb to a bump on top of J-Pal, but J-Pal evades it. The manages a clear. Of course, we may see a little more aggressive type of Rocket League coming out from Clovarity. Down 1 with a minute remaining. This might be the time to pounce as Ajax. 50s against Zapatos. Voltero searching for a clear, but T-Corral, it's put right in their lap. They try to set up a silver platter, but Skippy wipes it right off the dinner table and says, come on and try to feast some more. Well, the beast is on it. J-Pal, air dribble to the middle. T-Corral, peels off of it, but it's past the final defender. I don't know how we didn't see a block here.
Voltero is backwards, Skippy's challenging out of the air, doesn't get the bump, and Zapato's just a little bit late to the challenge. Maybe trying to play both angles with T-Corral bearing down on the right side. You have to respect at least the positioning, right? But that's a goal that probably shouldn't have gone in, and Rejects kind of let one in that they shouldn't have. And now this game's tied up with 38 seconds to go. Seems like the momentum is swinging in the direction of Clovarity as well, just with how well Clovarity so far has been playing backboard defense and really taking away those high touches. We haven't seen anything in the midfield yet from Rejects.
Not too much as of late. Should have known J-Pow would end up coming away with that goal with the goal participation, the high percentage I mentioned earlier. You got 15 seconds to close this in regulation time. Skippy has control with full boost in the corner, so let's see how far we can go with this one to the half-court line. It is blocked away. Voltero trying to pick up the scraps. J-Pow awkward positioning, but Ajax saving the day with a block there. Zapato's final touch as Ajax looks to end it there. However, T-Corral off the backboard, cut off well by Skippy. Ajax to the middle. J-Pow back at him. The give and go is just a little far enough to not reach. We go to overtime.
The extracurricular activity is beautiful, though, in this game 1. You see both offenses really trying to adapt and get that in. Great job from Clovarity right there, just getting the passes, keeping the ball alive, and getting themselves an opportunity at 0 seconds. Unfortunately, not found, though. Skippy might be able to get a bump here. J-Pal just so patient on that backline, willing to catch that one. Ajax looks to try to catch this one. Gonna get a touch. This is gonna be awkward all over the place. A bump gonna come out from the backside. Zapato's gonna lose that challenge as well. And now it's just a complete reset with nobody in the midfield to challenge, and J-Pow with 12 boosts to their name.
Whew. Padsworth ain't quite enough to make a play out of it. So Ajax picks it up instead. Skippy, neutral, hops back down to the ground to control this. Hold on, there's a lead blocker to get the defense out of the way. Skippy, let the red carpet roll out for the game 1 victory.
And Skippy right there, just realizing how much space is available, flips back down to the ground. You get Voltero out in front, just being a nuisance to society. And Rejects are going to take game number 1 here. And they came out strong, and that's kind of the thing that we saw. Both of their goals were just a ton of midfield space given up, and the ability of this team mechanically to be able to win those 1v1s after that space is given.
Visionary 1, you're exactly right. The midfield space was key to the victory of the Rejects getting their revenge. You gotta remember, I keep mentioning it, but they got swept by Clovarity the last time around. And I think it really was a match where Rejects did not reach their full potential yet. So it's kind of a luck of the draw. I mean, you'd expect Clovarity to have the luck, of course, with the org and the name and everything, but really to get another chance at the team to put them down in the lower bracket, they learned so much through that match and what they needed to change. And I think a lot of it was staying composed, wait for your moments, then outshine your opposition. And that's what we got in game 1. So Clovarity, I think maybe they need to create more moments for themselves instead of taking the back seat. And they only had 1 goal that game. You expect more out of the players from that team.
Certainly would. I mean, shot totals were completely even that game as well. We saw a lot of back and forth, right? But it seemed like Clovarity were actually the more defensively jumpy team. A couple of double commits we saw just opening up that space. So I'm excited to see if Rejects, like you said, can maintain that composure coming into this game number 2, or if Clovarity is going to try to amp it up and try to enforce that kind of fast play style that we expect out of J-Pow, Ajax, and TRYOUT.
I want to see it. We've seen enough with this Ajax being the third, the new one in for Clovarity. Now show us your real chemistry on the field. Show us how you can rebound against them. TRYOUT, he had 2 double taps in game 2 last series. How about a first one in the first 6 seconds?
I mean, look at the placement though, Pyro. I can't even get words out right now. How do you get your car in that perfect position to be able to go, hey, we're going top left as tight as possible. It's going to hit the inside of the wall, and there's no chance of anyone saving this. It's absolutely beautiful to watch as Skippy, the hero of game number 1, goes ahead and takes to the skies. Ajax is going to be bumped, but TRYOUT here, flip reset. Unfortunately, Air 404, the goal was not found on that one, and neither was... Oh! My gosh, okay, we're talking about that composure. It's gonna have to be found right now as this one out in the midfield. That was ridiculous. Voltero's gonna have to scramble back to this, is able to get a touch off the backboard. The pass to the mid, gonna be found. J-Pow slots this one over the top, off the crossbar, denied, but TRYOUT just too thick. He's been hitting the gym lately, able to force it through the defense.
And there's a reason why we see like the whole family of TRYOUT in the chat for all of these matches that Clovarity have played. He's the player to watch. And coming out big there in that match is going to be TRYOUT. We've had the double tap. We have the out muscle play. What more are we gonna see? How about a flip reset over Zapatos? Voltero just puts the cape on to save that shot.
That is ridiculous composure to be able to be there, but hey, guess what? Ajax gonna get a little double-double action of their own. Clovarity just assaulting the backboard, and unfortunately, there's really been nobody there for Rejects to handle this. Zapato's not able to make the read, and Ajax, that's a wide open net, and he's not gonna miss that from there.
I feel like if the 3 or 5 games that were played in this series didn't have breaks between them, this former iced up squad would have better luck here. But instead, we got the reset, and I think Clovarity said, hold on, Rejects managed to allow us to not play our game. Let's go out in game 2 and play our game. You have enough talent on this roster for these players to do exactly that. They've left nothing behind. They put the pedal to the metal, and this is what you earn when you get those chances. Oh, doink redirect from TRYOUT, just a miss.
And not only that, but it's going the other way. It was a great little doink heading back as TRYOUT able to get this over the top of one. Voltero's going to have to challenge. Gets dunked. That's off the inside of the post. Voltero pops it up high. Here's Skippy taking the action. Going to get a nice 50 into the corner. Is this going to be red? The answer is no. Voltero shot off target. J-Pow and TRYOUT both jump. Skippy. I'm liking the midfield lockdown that we're seeing so far from Rejects, but they're not really able to get that final shot in the dagger, and Zapatos is extremely awkward here, and he's going to be faked, and that is wide open spaces, as Sheryl Crow would have said in the 1990s. J-Pow going to get a 4th end.
I'm gonna leave that reference to You and You Only, Visionary One, but yeah, that's a great look there off the space provided. J-Pow managing to use that neutral hop back down to the ground and utilize the lower territory that Zapatos had earned. I mean, I understand at some points, right, you want to force the first shot high so the second layer of defense can defend whatever shot comes through. There was no second layer, and we've seen that again and again for this first part of game number 2. The layered defense that is needed so desperately right now for the Rejects is just absent.
Yeah, it's just not there currently, and it's not really what we saw in game number 1 at all from them. They were very composed on defense, and Zapatos gets beat again and then bumps J-Pow into getting the goal. Okay, so this is just a GG's go next at this point. I know there's 2 minutes left, but it just seems like the mental is boomed and you have to take this time to reset because Zapato's trying to save that and just somehow bumps J-Pow directly into the ball. That is unfortunate.
I do hope they find the time to like laugh this off and still get to be level-headed in this game, because there's so much stakes in this tournament. There's such a fat prize pool, and I'm sure as well that Voltero and Zapatos want to prove that they can work so well with Skippy here, and you know, coming up on a potential RLCS season. Yeah, we're just going to see another goal. That's fine. They want to prove that they can make these deep runs in the off-season Rocket League tournaments, especially when these teams are looking to get picked up by orgs when you look forward to a potential RLCS season coming up this year. It's these kind of tournaments where you want to prove that, so I don't think this is necessarily a full-on GG's Go Next. Of course, this game is done and out with, but you still want to try to discover the keys to victory if there are any in Game 3, such as maybe this from Skippy off the kickoff. Well coordinated to the net.
I mean, it's a great air dribble, and Seacrell just not able to get back in time. I mean, hey, get yourself some momentum going into the next game. There is 2:18 left. I've seen crazier comebacks happen in Rocket League. Unfortunately, I'm not the rank of these gentlemen, so when I've seen these things, they are not in SSL high pro play lobbies, because that's actually a crazy touch from Voltero right there to try to get that on net. Skippy's going to be here, going to play it off the backboard. Ajax is going to have a clear down the pitch. J-Pal is so fast to this, has the flip available. Can he get it past Voltero? No, playing it off the crossbar. It's a magnificent save. Also, just want to go ahead and give a shout on Hercules' streaming the other match right now. We just got an 8-minute overtime done and dusted, and Aris' team actually dropped to dope. So they're going to be down 1 heading into game number 4, but 8 minutes of overtime, that is huge hype.
Yeah, praying for her voice right now if she was full casting that 13-minute game. But shout out, of course, to Dope getting that win. They'll have match point after that. That's Aris with an E, Daz and Auraz on that squad. But Skippy with a reset out over to Voltero for their second goal. That's what I meant by still trying to find the keys to victory. It's kind of like, I don't know, a horror game where you've got to find the key to the door out, right? But you keep running into monster after monster. You might be just brutalized in this game, but you still have to have hope that there's light at the end of the tunnel.
I mean, there certainly is. Both their goals have come off of good work in the midfield again, so they know their key to success. It's just how are you able to fight it through with a Clovarity that's obviously made adaptations so far, right? And I think that's the big thing that these younger teams are going to have to work through, is just the ability to be able to basically readapt whenever you see anything happening to another team whenever you're going through this. Like, it's very difficult to go down 6-2. You have to take what you can out of this, knowing that it's only a tied series. It's by no means even close to over. That's the big thing for me personally, is seeing how Voltero and, of course, Zapatos can adapt to this after this Game 2 loss.
It's going to be a story of rebounds, because you could not have a better rebound from Clovarity after their Game 1 loss. You just have to expect Rejects to try and do the same. This goal is in here for Ajax. It's a good midfield pass out from J-Pal. And yeah, the scoreline just continues to ramp up. I want to get your take on the scoreboard right now, Visionary One, because I know folks won't be able to see this until the game is over. But we have Zapatos under 100 points still in this game. Voltero has over 700. You rarely see that disparity between players, and is that partly something that needs to get fixed and balanced out in the next game?
I think Zapatos has just been kind of awkward. He's been stuck as third in a lot of situations where he thinks the defense is going to rotate back and they're not, and so he's challenging early. It's just unfortunate. By the way, that was a magnificent pass from T. Carell. I have to give that a shout. That was a crazy read to be able to get that in front of the net. And it's just one of those games where you have to shake it off. Like, it's one of those things where, you know, you can go 0 for 5 in a game and strike out 5 times. Does it really matter at the end of the day when you have, in baseball, for instance, 164 games more to play, right? Or in Rocket League, you still have 3 more games in this series to potentially run through. So you just have to kind of forget about it. And to also be fair, most of Voltero's points so far, I mean, he might have 700, but they have been off of saves. He's got 6 saves currently, as that one is somehow not going to find the back of the net. That is absolutely ridiculous. This is still staying up. We have the extracurricular activity as the shot goes wide. The reset is going to happen, and Game 3 is going to come here. You're right. Pyro, and the fact that it is a large disparity, as everybody sees it right there, as Zapatos actually got a couple saves there to kind of bolster that up towards the end. I really think it's getting him active in offense is going to be the thing moving forward. We did not see Zapatos in front with the ball at all that game.
Yeah, Zapatos had 100% goal participation in their 2 goals in game number 1, but it was a great assist and even more that we saw in overtime. So absolutely couldn't agree more. Rejects, get everybody acquainted with the attack there. For an attack that could exist because, let's be honest, Clovarity, at the start of game number 2, they were able to play their game, and if they continue to play their game, they're gonna have possession. They're gonna feed the ball to J-Pal and TRYOUT to just put in work. Ajax had 4 goals that game, so everybody can manage it. And you have a Clovarity team that a lot of people are rooting for as well, Visionary One. When this roster was formed and announced, people had high hopes, and then things didn't work out exactly how it was expected. So there's a lot of question marks around Ajax filling in as a third. You want that assurance that this team can work, and that's what they're trying to prove here today.
I mean, that's why we have a long offseason too, and that's my favorite part about all of this going on right now is teams are finally getting the chance to not make reactionary moves. They're getting the chance to make moves that they know are going to benefit them. So Clovarity obviously didn't work out the first time. We still have another 2 months of offseason, maybe more. So, I mean, we get to sit down and kind of look at this. Be like, hey, you know what? It didn't work out. No skin off our back. No skin off of yours. It's just not the fitment we thought. So let's continue to run it back. And we get into game number 3 here. Very volatile kickoff to start us off. Great pass over to Zapatos, unfortunately. Just a little too much on that one. Skippy doesn't have the boost to get over to it. We're going to see Clovarity kind of slow this one down. And I think kind of the key for me personally, other than obviously winning the midfield, which is the key for any Rocket League game ever, is I kind of want to see Rejects kind of slow down and play to their strengths. We didn't see that at all in game number 2, and it showed.
They didn't have time. We started game 2 with a double tap from TRYOUT, and then they just kept pounding goal after goal after goal. How do you slow the game down like Zapatos is trying to do here when Clovarity are breathing down your neck? They're suffocating them. They're not giving them that time, that offering. Oh, an offering almost available there to Voltero. Skippy searched for it, but the pass was too far. But when Clovarity are playing as well as they are now with such a well-rounded attack, it's just tough to get that time if you're Rejects.
It's certainly difficult to get that time, and I think it really just comes down to, as Zapatos has a pre-jump and a great read here, it really comes down to being able to slow the ball down when you know you have the opportunity to versus trying to force it, right? Because if you try to force slow play against a Clovarity team that is playing on all cylinders, as we saw in the last game, it's going to be very difficult to free up that space for your team. Zapatos still kind of relegated to the back line, gets another one. So it's going to be interesting to kind of see how everything comes out. Zapatos is going to get eaten by the Noob Destroyer 9000, aka the little ramp in between the post and the crossbar, as that's a dangerous back pass towards the net. Everybody's going to kind of be discombobulated on the defensive end here, but Skippy's going to get a nice read to break out.
And despite a little hiccup on the ramp there, the layered defense is back for Rejects, something we were not able to find in game number 2. So knowing that they have a little more trust in their defense, which is just one man right now, Skippy takes down the 2v1 in incredible fashion, had to evade a bump and get the save. So 1 layer, 2 layer, Rejects looking much better on D.
They are, but it's looking like Clovarity is starting to kind of get that lockdown pressure down in the midfield as Zapatos not able to get a strong clear again, and Ajax flip reset available, has the angle, team save coming out, and Skippy somehow gets a hand up on this one just to bail out the defense once again. Skippy's been doing great on that back line as the last person of defense.
Yeah, for real. Coming up in a big way. TRYOUT bumped out of the double tap, but there's still a follow. There's always a follow from Clovarity. Opening goal.
That's a great job right here from TRYOUT getting 2. You might get bumped off the double tap, but where's the rest of the defense? Again, Zapatos isolated and has to challenge there. You can't give TRYOUT the space. So he's doing the right thing. Unfortunately, just nobody back in time. And it's kind of the things that you talked about and seeing within Rejects that make it more and more difficult, as that is just a slot of an angle from TRYOUT.
That's it. I was trying to avoid it in game 2, but forget it. We are living in TRYOUT's world. It's his. We're living in it. Double tap's just perfect. And, we called out the fact that they were bumped off a double tap. He already had a double off the ceiling. It's just these perfect reads that he has this game, where he's completely downloaded the game of Rocket League in his brain.
Just has the ability. I don't know what else to say. He's been here for a while. There's been a reason for it, and he continues to thrive in this environment right now. Nice little chain dash. Tries to get a little flick over to the side, not able to get that one. Just perhaps a little too fast on the own approach. J-Pal actually has to pre-jump this one. Voltero, I'm gonna feast it through everybody. Voltero just with a simple pop, but again, a lead block coming out here from Skippy, making J-Pal jump early, gives the ability for this angle to be found.
That's right. That was a team effort there, despite the solo ascent from Voltero. Skippy tried to do his best assist work on that play with the disruption. And Voltero, well played, because I mean, that player, again, had how many points in the last game? 700, 800, but not as many goals as he would hope to come away with. So finding one there and not having to make 6+ saves in a game definitely helps. But with the shot count still well in favor of Clovarity, we're sitting at 7 to just 2 out of rejects. There's still more to see out of the rejects.
There is certainly more to see, and it's going to be down to that kind of backline defense that we talk about, that layered defense there. Good flip here from Skippy, going to get it through one, gets a demo somehow on another, but Voltero's going to be able to be beat out. Skippy with no boost, Voltero having to flip back as well. Zapatos again awkward in the midfield, gives up a ton of space. Luckily, Skippy is there once again, as that shot is going to be on target. Voltero somehow finds a way to clear it out, and there's the bump. There is an open net, and Clovarity is not going to allow that opportunity to go awry.
They're still playing their game, Visionary One. They really are. This is too easy from T. Corral. And the defenders of Rejects just don't have their head on a swivel to expect those plays. There was no proactiveness from Zapatos to avoid that demolition. No side flip, no jump, no nothing. Just got bullied. And right now, Clovarity, I liken them to monsters in a horror game. I'm likening them to high school bullies right now. Whatever it is, it's aggressive, it's working, and it's making Rejects sweat, especially after they can't come away with a goal there and get punished on the other end.
I mean, it's a great pin down in the net right there. You see the rule run with Voltero, and J-Pow just goes, oh, I have open space. Oh, nobody's back. Okay, that's just a full court shot. So from downtown we go. J-Pow gets one on the board and it's 4-1, and these leads continue to expand. And that's the thing that worries me, right, is Rejects is a team that benefits from slowing down and kind of controlling the ball. If you're not going to be able to do that because you're down 3 goals and you kind of have to really push the pace, that means you're kind of just playing into Clovarity's hands again, and that just makes it more and more difficult to come back.
Yeah, the comeback seems fruitless here for the last minute remaining, but there's still time. I know it's really Clovarity in control, but I'm still giving these boys at Rejects a chance here. Skippy, there's a double. Poke it off the back wall, and the shot on target there from Voltero. I don't know how he got that angle, though Clovarity don't want to see it happen. Zapato's shot that J-Pal easily defends there with the bicycle kick. It's Skippy with the wall dash, but he's going to be out of sorts there, not able to come away with the ball. So I was hopeful earlier. I'm a little less now. 20 seconds to go. A savior medal for Zapatos, but the numbers on the defensive line just aren't enough to put them over the edge on the scoreboard.
Oh, it's not going to be it. Miscommunication as well. Zapato's going to go ahead and jump, flick over to the side, just burning the timeout. Nothing really too crazy for the rest of this game as Ajax is going off the ceiling there. Going to have a touch to get it past J-Pow. The ball's going to touch the ground. So not a lot of extracurricular activity this game that we saw in the game number 1, but Clovarity's still going to come away with the win, 4-1. Shot disparity is the thing that scares me for Rejects prospects and getting back into this series. If you have as many shots as the other team has goals, it's not really a recipe for success.
It's not. You need more. And honestly, for Rejects, I keep talking about, oh, we need more of this, we need more of that. We've talked about midfield control and getting space on the field. I think they just need to see less from Clovarity. Like, this team is popping off, and I actually think they're working really well together. Like, J-Pie talked about an earlier series where he had 5 of the 10 goals and tons of goal participation. This time he has a hat trick. He's popping off in this game. T-Crow, we've seen the incredible offensive caliber that this player has, and Ajax has actually filled in as a solid third to fill in this roster to allow J-Pow and T-Crow to work on the offensive end. I took a very close look at Ajax play style when I casted Axel during the final split of the last RLCS season, teaming with Taroko and Toasty. He allowed for so much potential on the offensive end for those players to pop off as well, especially Toasty. So I think Ajax actually fitting in really well with this roster, at least as it goes to show in this series.
Yeah, and it's a role that, you know, is much besmirched sometimes by the community at large, but I almost want to call it the Rizzo role, right? Like, you have JNaps in Chicago on the team on G2. Just let them thrive and do your best to just create space for those two to work. And it seems that Ajax is pretty much doing that perfectly. It's a great read by Zapatos there to cut that one out early. Voltero gets this to the midfield. Skippy already up on this. There is a chance at a double tap here. It's going to be a crazy angle, and it's saved off of the post. And Zapato's not there in time to go ahead and shoot that one through the gap, as Skippy has no boost whatsoever. It's just an awkward situation as Voltero doesn't get the flip that they're looking for, not able to put that one on net. And a great opportunity right here for Rejects is just going to go away.
for all the double taps we've had today, that one from Skippy would have been play of the day still. But unfortunately, Clovarity's defense a little too good. Had people sitting on the goal line waiting for a play like that. It's the respect given from Clovarity that unfortunately for Rejects, they're good enough to not come away with stellar plays like that. And now they're back on the defense that has to shape up well. Remember, the only game they took was when they kept Clovarity to 1 in regulation. Since that game 1, they have outscored in wide margins against Rejects.
Right now, it's looking to kind of slate into being that close game. Great backside demo as well, and Zapatos now going to have space. Looking for the double, not going to be able to find it. What a flip to get that one away, and TRYOUT looking to start the counterattack quickly as Skippy is able to cut it off. Maybe a challenge here as well. Voltairo's going to go, and Skippy is as well. Going to make it a bit awkward. Zapatos going to be isolated in the back versus TRYOUT, who's trying to take this to the ground and going to lose that challenge out wholly. And we're seeing a lot of good action for both these teams right now, but there's a lot more fight coming out from Rejects than I've seen in the past 2 games, and I really enjoy seeing that right now.
You're gonna see the fight. There's so much on the line. This is the lower qualifier round. You lose here, you're done. Goodbye. See you next showdown. So everything and a box of chocolates is at stake here. For this game, Zapatos. There it is, the opener goal. I didn't expect it there, but the ball was free.
TRYOUT just doesn't get the best touch. JPow and Ajax are both going for corner boost, and that leaves the net a little bit open. Just a tad bit, Pyro.
Yeah, and that's rare. You know, that's rare from Clovarity. They have been in great coordination thus far, which is something we called a question when adding a new third, but it's been solid. They almost equalized right off the bat, but look at this turnaround already. Voltairo trying to hound the transition defense to not collect this ball. Zapato still with control. It's 50 out to the mid, but JPow has that long clear. So we're sort of settling in yet again. That low scoring affair may take shape. Skippy! Off the ridiculous angle, the double earlier. I expected a lot out of that ceiling touch.
I mean, we've seen shots like that before. Shout out a lot, but that was just a ridiculous angle. That's a huge double commit as well. Zapatos is going to be last back, going to be isolated. The bump's going to come through, and somehow Voltairo gets back in time to at least get something done here and kind of slow down the attack. Skippy having to shadow. Zapatos is going to come in from the back post and go ahead and challenge. We still have Skippy on the back wall here. JPow takes it low, tries to get it through 1. Not going to be able to find it, but often still going to remain on the side of Clovarity. This is just awkward as all get out. Zapato's burning all the boosts that they have left just to be able to get that ball, and this is still in front of the box. It's still dangerous, and somehow Skippy at least gets a little bit just to get some breathing room right now for Clovarity.
Breathing room's needed. Some kind of space in the midfield for this team to get back against Rejects. I mean, we might be shaping up for a game 5 here, but I can't count Clovarity out for how many goals they've achieved in the last couple of games. You expect them to come away with at least 1. It's a good pass. It's cut off there by Zapatos, but Ajax catches nicely. Had a reset, but it was TRYOUT to fill in, try for the shot. Rejects have pounced on every offensive opportunity, though, for Clovarity. TC, flip reset, wave dash, but Zapatos to 50 it, back pass to Skippy, off the backboard, Voltairo, leap for it, too late, J-Pal takes away, and again for the clear.
Doesn't matter though, Rejects are going to continue to keep the ball in their possession, in their grasp, and they're winning the boost battle as of right now. As TRYOUT going to play this off the backboard over to himself. Skippy looking for a challenge, not able to beat it out as Ajax going to catch this 1. Demo, 1 for TRYOUT. Can he make it 2? No, but Skippy here somehow gets a good enough touch to get that one out of the net. 15-14, the clock winds down. Clovarity, not a lot of boost in the tank, going to lose a challenge and have to start from square 1 here with 8 seconds to go. The pinch attempt going to go to the opposite side here. Skippy shot on net, going to be just off. Voltairo's going to find it, and we're going to game 5.
We are indeed. Very well, Rejects. The defense needed to shape up. That's what we called out. You got outscored by 3 or 4 goals each of the last games, and here they were to set down the layers, deny Clovarity of all their double tap and hard shots that they produced throughout this series, and get a couple for themselves. Rejects, they call themselves that, but they are propelling past expectations here, forcing a game 5 on Clovarity.
And it's all in that backline defense. Again, 6 saves coming out from the entirety of Rejects. You look at the ball possession, actually favored Clovarity this game. But something I noticed in game 3 that is here in game 4, the boost consumption is actually higher for Rejects than it was for Clovarity, and it's the first time that's happened since game number 1. So they are clearly amped up the pace just a little bit, able to use more boost, able to steal more boost. That's really the way you shut down a dynamic offense like Clovarity.
Yeah, and spark an offense for yourself as well, right? We'd spoken on how the last game Voltero had 700 to 800 points and Zapatos had under 100 leading into the final 15 seconds of the game. This time Zapatos with the MVP. I think we discussed how a well-balanced Rejects is a very solid team, both on the attack and the defense, and it finally shapes together here in game number 4. But that consistency, that composure that we called out earlier on in the series Visionary 1 has to all be solid. They've got to play to that foundation here when it matters in game 5.
In game 5, all the chips are on the table. Everybody's all in. You're either winning, you're going on to day 3, or you're going home. Those are your 2 options. So have fun with it. But at the end of the day, you have to be able to remain composed and be able to take advantage of the opportunities that are given to you. Because at this point of Rocket League, I feel like goals aren't made by teams creating those opportunities for the most part. It's by forcing the other team to make a mistake. So who is going to be able to do that the most today in this game number 5?
Well, we start out with a tough read off the ceiling there from Zapatos, but off the minimal boost they had, they were able to make a play. TRYOUT, this is a slow play in the center of the field that no one can get to. Lots of space and time provided to each player here in game 5, where you would expect us to start with the pedal to the metal. It's instead giving either team a chance to break through. You mentioned forcing mistakes and playing very grounded, and I think that's definitely what we're seeing at the start of game 5.
It certainly is. A little cluster there. Unfortunately, not going to fall in the way of Rejects. They're going to get this one out, but going to lose the challenge in the midfield. It's going to be up to Skippy. A lot of space once again given up in the mid, although that is a solid demo to kind of clear out that space. It's not going to really result in any offense. We're seeing a lot of these teams just kind of hanging out, waiting for their chances. It's a decent little pinch that Ajax is going to read up immediately as Voltero going to get challenged. Zapatos, large clear here, huge reset, and we're going back to ping pong apparently, Pyro.
Isn't it tense though, right? It's like it's like in those movies where it's quiet, almost too quiet. Like teams are really focused on the boost game, but once they get that moment, once they get that slight edge on a possession, the attack will produce. It's just the moment that counts. It's when it comes to the table. TRYOUT almost from the ceiling to the double. We saw it earlier. We'll see it again as it opens up the space for J-Pal to clean up.
I mean, it was a great touch by Voltero just to be able to get a challenge there, and Zapatos just kind of stuck on the back wall. Third not there, Clovarity 1-0. It's literally that simple. It's TRYOUT with space in the midfield just being able to sky his way to a lead, and we continue to see it, but we're also seeing a lot more demos coming out of Clovarity here as well. They've been extremely aggressive in the first minute and a half, basically, of this game as Zapatos looking to just make this awkward. It's not going to be found once again as Ajax hits this. Is it going to be caught out? It's not a goal. It's going to go off the crossbar and the post and find a way out, and that is just unfortunate for Clovarity as a demo going to free up some more space once again.
Well, the strat for Clovarity all along has been put J-Pal and TRYOUT in scoring position. So I guess Ajax was like, sorry, I signed a contract. I'm not allowed to score. It hit every part of the post to not go in the back of the net. TRYOUT this time with the reset, that's not going to go in either. But I think you'll expect to see Clovarity play to their true strength, which is TRYOUT being that space creator. We saw the play off the ceiling and then the double tap, and that's been how these plays have been flowing in with J-Pal playing as that second. This time it's the first touch in their opponent's half that ends up in TRYOUT's hands, but he cannot get it out of this corner. Corralled there again with Skippy. Voltero's the option. Skippy fakes the pass, takes it to the net. Voltero with the follow, but everyone on the defense shapes up for Clovarity to see it away.
That's a big double commit there, but they're able to get some space out as Zapatos actually has to make a save on a shot on target there to come around. Great pass back to the Ajax. Shot going to be wide once again as Skippy gets a flick over the top of TRYOUT. Looking for potentially a counterattack here. Not a lot of boost to Skippy's name. Voltero looking to take it to the skies. Going to get a nice little bounce, but J-Pal going to have the read. Zapatos waiting in the wings. Going to shoot it across. Unfortunately, not on target. It's going to be a large clear and a huge touch coming out from TRYOUT, but not on target again. This one is close, but it's going to be Zapatos able to get it away once again as Ajax has control but plays it backwards.
Every time T-Crow has an opportunity like that, you gotta clench. You gotta wait because something's gonna happen. I've watched T-Crow more often in this offseason on Harrisburg University, where he plays for, and he goes for sidewall doubles all the time, and he hits them too. So you gotta expect big things. However, there was a bit of a whiff there on the defensive end there for Clovarity. It ended up in a chance for the rejects, but now J-Pow, wants to fake and get the 50. Skippy pokes out, but that half-court rotation is solid for Clovarity. That deep defensive end is well positioned on the back of T. Corral. Clovarity are keen to not allow a single goal from rejects. They're playing way back to not allow a single chance from that and have to offer that same defense in one final minute.
That personally scares me though, because no one goal lead is ever safe in Rocket League. It just literally comes down to that. Good flick across. You're going to get a demo here as well. You're playing 3v2. Volterra has an opportunity. It's going to be read by J-Pow on that back wall and be able to go ahead and just delay. This is great time work right here from J-Pow, able to get that challenge through as well, and it's going to be square one starting for rejects. 30 seconds to go, and it's kind of just flung down the pitch, trying to hopefully catch somebody off guard. It's not going to end up working out though, as Volterra going to get this off to the side. 20 seconds now. Ball basically in the midfield. Rejects have to get something going.
Yeah, hope for Rocket League is not the idea here. It's got to be implemented and executed based on the plans you drew up earlier on your whiteboard or something that comes loose. Nothing is becoming available from J-Pow. Look at all the time taken away just on that ascent. High elevation play for Volterra. Air dribble to the net. Zapato still has time and space with this, but it's denied well by J-Pow. Read like a book. Skippy under the ball now to elongate the play. Extracurriculars still in affair, but no, it will end. Clovarity. Game 5, lower bracket, final chance to qualify for the final day of the Fall Showdown is theirs.
It certainly is there, and rejects getting swept by Clovarity earlier. Come back, make it a 3-2, make it extremely, extremely close. Actually outshooting Clovarity in that game, and it just comes down to those one instances where Clovarity and J-Pow are able to take advantage. Unfortunately for rejects, they had opportunities that were just denied or so gosh darn close. And man, Clovarity has to grit their teeth all the way through to be able to qualify to game number 3. Or I'm sorry, the day number 3.
Day number 3, yeah, the final day of the Fall Showdown 3. It was impressive through and through. I mean, I still remember games 2 and 3 where Clovarity looked like it was a walk in the park, man. T. Corral was just doing what he does. Like, when you have TC popping off, it's just another story. And rejects, yes, they found a response later on in the series, but you can tell how it just wasn't enough to go over the finish line. So I love what I saw, honestly, out of the rejects. Seeing Zapatos and Volterra back together brings me joy. I hope they continue on with Skippy and see them in another Fall Showdown. But Visionary 1 in the offseason, you never know what to expect.
Nope, you certainly don't. And I mean, it's the offseason, it's an elongated offseason, so they could have 7 more tryouts at this point. Like, does anybody actually know how many more people we're going to see? But I do love seeing, of course, Wavy and Zapatos, or I'm sorry, Zapatos and Volterra. I'm just going to totally blank. That's perfect. So we're going to go ahead and let my mind just get a reboot real quick. I'm just going to hit the power off and power back on button. We're going to be coming back. Of course, we're going to see Zealous versus Aris' team after a break here for the Fall Showdown number 3.
Hand out, she holds. It's feeling like we've been here before. We're both so broke. That's something that'll keep us afloat. Don't walk too slow. We can't keep falling deeper again. Came too close and the day's so far from pure. A rush of blood, but we search for so much more. We've all been here before. We've all been here before. We've all been here before. Hand out, she holds. It's feeling like we've been here before. We're both so broke. That's something that'll keep us afloat. Don't walk too slow. We can't keep falling deeper again. Came too close and the day's so far from pure. A rush of blood, but we search for so much more. We've all been here before.
Hello and welcome back to the Bandit on Wheels Fall Showdown number 3. My name is Visionary1. Of course, alongside me, Pyro J once again. Obviously, Pyro, we just saw a game number 5. Clovarity taking it and bringing themselves to day number 3. I'm super excited to see what's going to come up next. But Pyro, I'm going to kind of let you down what we've seen so far in Group C and Group D in the bracket.
I'm ready. Bring it on. Group C and D. Whoopsie was saying Group D, Group and Dev. I don't know. I've seen a lot of killers here all across these groups, but we'll start with Group C. Sukpartik, probably no surprise to see them move on. They've been all across these off-season Rocket League events. They'll be playing Elephant over on that side as they take the Schnauzenheisers down to the lowers. But for us today, or at least at this point in time, we are checking out Group D. Team Zealous, made up of Money and Expert, formerly on SUP, are bringing on Drewy for this squad. And then we got Aris's team, which you might recognize these names: Aris, Evo, and Nolly. And I mean, Visionary1, just explain this to me, because Nolly, I mean, what, he just hops on over to Europe, wins a quick flip and spin tournament with KC. Now he's back to NA to take some more tournaments. Is he just farming the off-season tourneys? Like, what's going on?
You know what my favorite part about all that is the sheer fact that apparently Nolly's just a Rocket League mercenary at this point. He's played in NA, he's played in EU, he's played everywhere, man. And he's fit into every single roster that he's played in. And how is this man not on a solid team? I will never know. It seems absolutely ludicrous to me that somebody can come in, fit everybody's play style every single time, and just pump them up to wins or, you know, top 3s essentially every single time he's on a roster. It blows my mind. And with Aris going ahead and now playing with Aris's team, he actually played an NRG in Fall Showdown number 2. So maybe a different tryout, maybe just a different look. Maybe they just were free this weekend and wanted to vibe out. I'm not going to sit here and I'm not going to contemplate with 2 months of offseason left to go about what's going to happen here. But another note here as we get our last look at the bracket. Every single game from Group B and Group D were in game number 5.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, this speaks to the competition. We just got off of game 5 where we almost had rejects taking revenge. This is what the offseason tournaments are about. It's the close competition and seeing who can just barely outshine the other. So when we talk about this match that's coming up here for Aris's team and Team Zealous, who does outshine the other? Who has the capabilities to push it the farthest? I think both teams do. I don't want to toot my own horn here, but with Money and Expert now on Team Zealous, I team streamed them back in the spring split, and I literally casted them reverse sweep G2 in round 1 of one of the main events. Like, I know those players and what they are capable of, but can they take down this goated stack of Aris's team?
I mean, they certainly can. Everything went to game 5. All these teams are indiscriminately close. Like, it just really comes down to who is going to be able to play their game. Like we always say, it is what it is. But how can you bet against Nolly right now?
Yeah.
That's just my thing. He just won with Karamin Corp and he comes back and he's like, yeah, I'm playing in NA again, boys. Let's go. Like, let's keep this rolling. We're going to play with Aris today, whatever, you know, just another day, another week in Rocket League. I'm just going to keep farming every single offseason tournament and making that money.
I mean, you were mentioning like how is Nolly not picked up, by the way. And a quick caveat, guys, there are some chat predictions. So get on that if you already know who's going to take this W. We got hashtag ARS for Team Aris and we got hashtag ZEA over there for Team Zealous. But yeah, you mentioned how Nolly's not picked up. Honestly, this is kind of a nice situation for him at the same time. Like, it's not a one-to-one comparison, but it reminds me of Mist and how he's just been teaming with whatever top squad needs a third and producing these long runs for these tournaments. So I know it's not the best situation, right? Maybe you would rather be like a first killer who's now knows that they're on Gen G, but at least Nolly gets to run amok in these off-season tournaments and make some great displays out of it.
Yeah, he's basically shown his worth. And it's, for me personally, who's somebody who's watched Nolly for a long time, I feel like he's always kind of been undervalued and underrated as far as the community goes. And he just fits in wherever he goes, man. And he continues to show that. It doesn't matter who he plays with, he's going to produce results. So he's definitely putting himself in that conversation, and he's going to have a team by the end of this. We all know that for a fact.
Well, we're not allowed to talk about Nolly anymore because they're Aris's team and not Nolly. So we gotta talk about Aris and Evo as well. I mean, two other players who we don't like for sure technically know where they'll end up, but still players that we expect to be able to dominate the pitch. It could be overbearing. It could be overwhelming against a team like Team Zealous, but at the same time, with 3 players just kind of playing together for this tournament, you're against a squad like Team Zealous, who has been teaming for some time now. Obviously, Money and Expert duo for a long time, but with Drewy as a third, and the practice runs and the tournaments that they've already been through, they could pop off here. They could sport that cohesion, and that balance may be enough.
And chat's completely divided too. 50-50 at the very end of that before we pop into game number 1. So your guess is as good as ours. We both know both of these teams have the ability to definitely take this series. It's going to be a close one. It's going to be a barn burner. And you're here, of course, on the Bandits on Wheels Fall Showdown number 3 as Nolly tries to put a shot on target. It's not going to be there. And look at the flip of the pitch right there. One clear leads it all the way down. And Evo's a little bit awkward. Going to take it low and slow here. Going to lose out that challenge. Expert over the top. Nolly's going to be there for 1. Does he have a second? He does. His Money still using all of that boost. Somehow gets a dunk here. This is going to be dangerous. Drewy trying to get a bump, not able to find it. And that's going to be the observation and the situation gone awry as Nolly in the air right here, going to be denied off the backboard by Drewy.
It felt a little scary there for Team Zealous because they were operating off a very low boost, still trying to make that play work. You saw Money double jump with like 6 boosts just to see if they can get a shot on target. And I like the aggression, I like the confidence, but at the same time, is that transition defense going to be in place when it whips back the other way? So far it has been. First minute down and still no goals scored. But as we look to the future and we look to see if that defense is shaped up well enough, we got to keep our eye on the back line of Team Zealous.
We certainly do, especially as Aris's team has been able to really just kind of put the pressure on here and keep control of that midfield. That might just be an opportunity for it to be in, but Evo can't make the read off of the crossbar. Nolly with 1, gonna get a 50 on a second, but the shot's not gonna be in a spot where it can actually come in. Drewy gonna get a flick over Evo, be able to fight through the bump as well. Another flick with no boost, gonna be cut out by Aris, who, again, the transition and the defensive passing that we're seeing right now out of Aris's team has been insane. As Nolly accidentally saves his own team's shot there. Gonna lead this to a 1v1. Money doesn't have any boost to work with, and Evo's gonna get it away. That's just an unfortunate circumstance because I love the defensive passing that I'm seeing out of Aris's team right now.
Yes, yeah, the passing is on point. The shot taking, just not so much. That was Nolly with a misfire and then a save against his own teammates. So call out the imposter if you will, but the impact still has yet to be seen, at least on the scoreboard for that sake. As Nolly, low boost, gets out 50. It's out to Evo, who still has boost in the tank to make a play here. Flip reset's going to be held on for the recovery instead of the shot. Nolly next up, reset there, and so much time given to each player. It's a dangerous game to play if you're Zealous.
Certainly is, but they've held on strong so far, and now this is going to be an opportunity for Druid to potentially get it past Noli. And look at that demo, just gone. Just, you know what? You're going to try to threaten some offense. We're just going to remove you from the pitch. As Evo has a flip, not going to be able to use it. Just got a little bit too far away from the ball, and the transition is now on. Expert with the dribble, going to be taken away by Noli. As Druid up right now, looking for a double tap, going to be cleared off the backboard. Nolly again off the ceiling, going to leave that for Aris. And this is a very European playstyle we're seeing out of Aris' team right now. Very defensive passing, very counter-attack focused, and something you don't see a ton of in North America. We see a lot more of that solo play effort.
I mean, the counters, they're lethal, but they haven't hit the mark yet. So we got to see it actually happen here. Nolly does try to stretch out for the pass out to Evo, which eventually ends up in his lap, but it's a soft touch. It doesn't equate in a shot. Money, it's a long clear, finding Expert there. Tall double tap sequence, but the water falls down instead into the hands of Aris' team, and it's on the backs of Aris to make that clear. And it is counterattack heavy. It feels that way for both teams at the moment, as it's been handed off one after the other, yet nobody finding the point that is necessary. So the defense is seemingly shaping up a little better than where there's a lack of venom on the attack.
I don't even know if I would personally call it like a lack of venom. It's been so close for both these teams that it's just better defense. And the better defense is going to beat the better offense. You see it in the NFL all the time. You'll see it in Rocket League too. That's why these two high-powered offenses currently notched up at zeros as a team bump actually happens on the backside. Nolly's going to be able to put a shot in and just thread the needle. Nolly from midfield delivers the lead right here for Aris' team.
I am not okay with the first goal happening after a team bump. Team Zealous, if your defense has been situated at all points throughout this series, and you've got basically 3 players on the back line there, how does that go in? Nolly, given all the time and space on so many plays, finally makes 2 for 1. They're gonna do it for a second, as Aris' team scoring at the right time in this game.
Evo, just quick flip right there, not really even expecting a challenge after he gets the boost. And that is the last person back for Team Zealous, and Aris' team is just going to take complete advantage of that. Pick him up, set him down 2-0 with 50 seconds to go. Zealous is going to have to get a nice kickoff win here and have to do some work to be able to get this game won within reach. As Nolly, ceiling touch. Evo actually going to kick that one back. Money's going to be there. Just kind of awkward all around as Expert looking to keep this one there. Aris going for a bump, not going to be able to find it. Nolly's going to free up some space here in the midfield. Look at the time wasting. Yes, you can kick that one down just like that however you want, as Money might be there. It's going to be cut off. Great defense, great time burning right now by Aris. They're working just every single waking moment on trying to shut this game down.
They've done it well. They've done it well. The passing continues to be at the pinnacle of Aris' team. They're connecting with each other seamlessly, and it's resulted in Team Zealous having the burn boost just to chase down the passes. And we've seen it so much throughout this first game, is that when Team Zealous finally do get on the attack, they just don't have the resources. They don't have the boost to generate a strong attack, and that's how the game's gonna end, off of 0 goals and only a couple registered shots from Team Zealous. The statistics match the scoreline here as Aris' team shut out Team Zealous.
All possession, boost, the whole 9. It's just all in favor of Aris' team right there. And you can see it in the shot totals. You can see it, of course, in the demos as well, leading 1 by Aris' team. They were just able to take control of the pitch, and really, after that kind of boomer ball first minute and a half that we had was just full of counterattacks, they really kind of just took over everything and were able to shut out Team Zealous. So, Pyro, we look for adjustments, of course. We're on the sidelines. We're not having to have the sticks in our hands, so it doesn't really matter too much of what we say they need to do, right? I just need to see some more cohesion on the defensive end, because that first shot by Nolly that really broke the game open is one that probably shouldn't have gone in.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, credit due to Team Zealous, because while they had almost no field domination or possession in that game, what possession was there was based off counterattacks that just got extinguished very quickly later on. It's the fact that that goal went in and it didn't shape up for the final minute of the game. So if you're gonna play that game, if you're gonna rely on your defense, it's got to have endurance. It's got to last the whole game. It can't break apart in the final minute of regulation. So in game 2, either the momentum wave hits hard in favor of Aris' team, or Team Zealous able to shape up and start to generate some forceful attack.
Well, there you go. Forceful attack, kickoff, goal. 1-0 for Expert right there. I mean, and this is just awkward. Unfortunately, Noli's going for a flip reset to try to get it away. Expert just shoots the gap. Aris isn't able to close it, and here we are, 1-0. We talk about Zealous needing to get offense. Well, there's a way to get yourself a lead. Let's see how they play with it, though, Pyro, because this is uncharted territory for them.
Yeah, scoring a goal, let alone lead, has not happened for Team Zealous yet in this series. As we welcome Hootie Hoo and his channel to the stream. Welcome, everybody. We're here in game number 2, and Team Zealous has scored their first, have the lead for at least the rest of this game until Aris' team can respond. They've responded pretty well, massively off of some counters, long clears that you see just like that coming out from Aris. It's on the onus of Team Zealous to see if they can catch those long clears and throw it right back at them.
Nolly doesn't have a lot of boost here, and he's going to be the last one back. Going to kick it out over to Evo. Again, defensive passing reigns supreme. A double commit not going to matter as long as you win it. As Expert trying to take this through Aris, able to get it past one. Little redirect, little doink. Not going to be able to get that one away as Evo getting bumped out, but does secure the boost. And Aris gets a backside demo and just rams into Evo. Somehow puts him into position as he carries this one through. Demo once again. Nolly going to be cut out by money. And Evo accidentally back passes this one. And this one's going to be dangerous. Evo doesn't have any boost. Just has to get it as high as the crossbar. And luckily enough, Aris is there in time.
Weirdly, that touch ended up being perfect for Evo because it just was glued onto the crossbar, and no matter what kind of angle any Zealous player would get on it, it wouldn't have gone in. So nice reaction for that play, and Evo is just going to bring it right on back to finally equalize for Aris' team.
Takes it slow, fakes it as soon as they get it past Drury. Nolly just there with the bump, being, hey, last defender doesn't exist. Just go ahead and take it low, get it right into the net. Yeah, he got a flip reset. Didn't even need it. He could have just landed on that ball and dropped it in. Aris is going to find a way to get one, but Drury now on the dribble, trying to sort it through. Not going to be able to find it. Expert trying to get that one away and into the net. Not going to happen once again, and we see the counterattack just kind of roll. It's Aris going to fall on this one. Unfortunately, just off target.
You know, it would have been something else if we saw yet another kickoff goal there for Team Zealous, because it was very close off that face-off. At that point, that's the strategy. You know, just score on the kickoffs, and if Aris' team respond with an equalizer, there you go. It's yet another kickoff goal, because to be honest, unless we see that like mistake of a back pass from Evo or something break down for Aris' team, it's just been rare that Team Zealous get any convincing opportunities on offense. Aris' team just seemed really comfortable in this matchup, and they're trusting that when those plays come to shape for them to score, that it'll happen. They'll take that lead and they'll win each game.
Oh my, Aris is going to be just off target though. That was a nasty redirect. Is Nolly going to hit this one up? Actually gets beat. It's Aris, the last one back, just has to kind of dump this back out to the midfield. Going to leave a lot of space available, but Nolly going to be there once again to cut this one off. Expert going to get demoed and removed from play. Money's actually going to have some possession here though. The early flick going to be denied by Aris with 3 boosts in the tank. The double dump and a dream keeps it alive right now at 1-1.
All right, now the Zealous attack is shaping up. That was a wonderful shot from Money, placed at the top corner. Follow there from Drury, does not land in. And Nolly gets the save with the ball 80% in the way of the goal. How do you get that out?
You just better be lucky than good sometimes. That shot was extremely good by Team Zealous. Just unfortunately hits the crossbar, does not find its way in. Is Drury going to go ahead and cut this one off in the midfield? Aris looking for Evo, taking to the skies, not going to be able to find much. His Money goes to Expert, who was able to secure their corner boost, and that's something I like seeing out of Team Zealous right now, is the fact that they're starting to secure their own boost. They're not losing the battle terribly as Nolly. That's a crazy touch to shoot this one downfield. Here's Drury going to be able to get a 50. Money on the counterattack. Nolly, you have to be a wall here because you're going to be alone. Expert off the backboard. Money dropping it down. Here's Aris kicking out. Evo pre-jump. Might have beat out the entire defense. Drury can't get back. It's a complete counterattack from Aris, and what looked like just a circle of offense right there in the half for Team Zealous. It turns into an instant counterattack goal.
We're seeing why Aris' team is going to be a problem not only for Team Zealous throughout this entire series, but for anyone in this tournament if and when they make it to day 3 with how good they're looking. We've called out so many wild touches that they've made. Aris with the sidewall double, Nolly with some doinks and redirects, and then Evo with that pre-jump on the counter. They can hit the wildest of touches, all 3 of these players, and it forces every defense to have their head on a swivel to try and get in front of plays like this.
Nolly, over the top, just that simple. Takes it slow, pops it over one, manages to beat out Expert. The double jump is undefeated, and nobody at all on the Zealous defensive line was expecting, unfortunately, the player that was challenging to lose that. So it just goes right into the net, and a little bit of luck too. We saw the crossbar seems to be playing for Aris's team.
Yeah, not Drury, whatever TV he's on, because that crossbar shot, unfortunately, did not land. He's kicking himself, did not have found that goal. This one's wide open, whoever will score it. Okay, Aris, it's gonna go to them for their first goal in this game, and that might just secure the MVP title for Aris, but it's been the counterattack story. It's been the story of control. We've had lightning in a bottle moments from Team Zealous where it looks like their attack is starting to shape. But Aris' team, they seem to always have a response. They are in full control of this series, and it's going to take some excruciating differentiating factor from Team Zealous in Game 3 to turn this around.
Yeah, and the craziest part is Aris' team is outshooting, or I'm sorry, they're being outshot 6-9. Like, it's there, and okay, guys. Is this the part of every Pro Rocket League game that just evolves into a bronze lobby? Because it happens at some point. That was ridiculous. I was just watching because it was like a circus. I just heard the music in the background, just dun 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 dun. As we continue to go on, extracurriculars are going to be had. Nice little flick. Expert's going to go ahead and deny the shot. Money's going to go ahead and ground this one to send us off to game number 3 with Aris' team up 2-0.
And we may have had a 5th goal, we may have had a 6th goal from Aris' team, but they said, let's just accelerate the pace of this game. Maybe someone has a lunch date or a dinner day later on, and they decide game 2 is going to end shortly there. This match, Visionary 1, seems like it may end shortly as well. Team Zealous, we came into this match knowing the caliber of play that all 3 of these players bring. Drew has been so impressive in the St. Edward's squad for the collegiate scene of Rocket League. Bunny and Expert have teamed together for so long and have made great waves with SUP in the RLCS season last season. But against Aris' team, they just don't have the antidote. They cannot set up shop on the other side of the field. They cannot get convincing tries outside of 1, maybe 2 rare attempts on their opponent's net. And Aris' team, they're just in full control.
They are. I mean, Aris had 5 saves last game. Like, he was in situations where Zealous had opportunities, and he was just able to shut it down. And good defense once again prevails. And Aris' team, especially in the defensive passing, to be able to flip the field as quickly as they have, it's really been vital to them. A lot of teams don't really expect basically precision passing like that to come out from the defensive end, but they're flipping the field in T-2 seconds every single time. It's something that I love to see out of Aris' team, especially because these guys haven't really played together much. Like, this is just a pickup team coming through. Aris played with NRG, with Garrett G, and forgot who the third was last week, but playing with NRG, played with Garrett G. It might have been missed. Yeah. And he just comes in, and again, Nolly just kind of like the magic puzzle piece, dude. He just comes in, he's able to morph to whatever his team is doing, and it just works.
Yeah, I think we're waiting for one more player for this game number 3, so we'll see when this game actually starts. But yeah, it just works. It just works. And it speaks to how important these players are when we see them fall into a roster, how useful they'll be, because it means that when they do shape into that roster, they're not going to need a lot of time to complement each other on the field. They just work. They're a perfect puzzle piece no matter what picture you're trying to create. So here we are in game 3. The picture may be clear already in high resolution that Aris' team have a 3rd game, but I'm ready to be proven wrong by Team Zealous. I'm ready for them to put the puzzle pieces together as well and start off strong in this game 3.
Yeah, it's more like I know the pieces fit, right? We're going to go with a little Tool reference. We're going to keep it in the 90s today, Pyro. How about that?
I'm in. The old heads are here.
Yeah, the old heads are, in fact, right out here. I don't think they played in the tournament today, though, but the old heads are here as Nolly loses the 50-50. 4:20 on the clock. Aris finally trying to kick this down. So far, it really has been all Team Zealous off this kickoff, and maybe 2 demos will free up some space. His Money is alone right now, just falling off of this. Gonna let the team come through, go ahead, dump it to the opposite side. And it's once again gonna be more offense for Team Zealous. Is a little double commit gonna come through right there. Expert trying their best to get this through. Not gonna really be in a dangerous position just yet as Evo taking their time and takes to the skies.
It was a little shaky there from Aris' team on that double commit, but for Team Zealous, they've got to take advantage of those opportunities. You know, it's power shots to the net where we don't see a quick rebound or a crashing of the boards from Team Zealous. Maybe a passing play, maybe the follow-up needs to occur because these one pop-off shots are just not doing it for their offense right now. However, you can't admit they have 2 shots and Aris' team have none. So far, they've been putting on the pressure in game number 3. However, all it takes is one good passing play, nollie to the whole team as they're all up. This is where Team Zealous can punish on the counterattack, and they'll do just that. All 3 extend for Aris' team, and Team Zealous find the opener.
That is unfortunate to say the least, but again, we mentioned that it's a pickup team. Sometimes those things happen. 2 players in a very similar space both jump for what was a juicy pass from Nolly and just ends up being a goal on the opposite side. So good job from Zealous finally taking advantage of that opportunity, getting themselves a lead once again. We'll see how long they can hold on to it as this shot is going to be on target. It's going to be saved by Nolly. Looking for a second touch, is going to find it. Aris is actually already there, trying to flip to it. No boost to their name. Grabs the 100 and steals it away. Gets a bump on money here as well. Nolly looking for 2, not able to find it again as the possession going to be held by Aris' team.
Nolly's passing ability is just too good that their 2 teammates had to get up to that one. On that last play, Nolly trying to pass it to himself off the backboard for that double tap. Aris looked to be in the best position for that save against his own team, but instead someone does come through for Team Zealous. So they're holding on to this lead for now as we stretch past the halfway mark of game number 3. Aris bullet to the backboard, and unless Drewy is there, Aris was looking at a clean double. However, shot fired by Expert. A touch there from Evo, but it's not enough.
And Evo was back on no boost right here. Nolly just trying to help out and hope that they can get up to that one. I don't think Nolly really got the touch that they were looking for, and the shot's just too hot. Expert puts too good a wood on that one to be able to have it saved. It's going to be 2-0 in favor of Team Zealous, and they're starting on the comeback trail, and this game has looked wildly different than everything else as Aris has to track this one down. Has an opportunity to maybe go for a psycho, but he's just going to leave the ball right to Expert. He's going to get the second goal in about 10 seconds.
Listen, Visionary One, I said I was ready to be proven wrong, but this isn't really the way that I expected it to go. The first goal happened after double commits from Aris' team. We've seen double commits even before that happened. Now we're seeing just blatant misses out of Aris' team, and now we're seeing not everybody playing. We're seeing disconnections. So it's just very rare what's happening right now for Aris' team as Nolly does return to the lobby. So I guess we'll continue play as it stands. So yes, Team Zealous, they're taking advantage of the situation, but it feels a little less like it's normal showing here. So we're going to figure out the issue. We're going to figure out why there's DCs. We are able to pause the game, so we'll get to that. But Visionary One, do you agree or disagree with me that yes, Team Zealous taking advantage, but it's just a little awkward from Aris' team. Not the same Aris' team that we saw in games 1 and 2.
Yeah, it definitely hasn't been so far. It just kind of is what it is at this point, and you have to be able to do what you're going to do as we're trying to reset from kickoff right now. But I mean, we're going to go to 2 minutes, right? Everybody disconnected, including myself, actually. I had everybody driving in circles after the goal, so that was a lot of fun, too. I love having the spectator cam do that, so I'm like, hey, at least we have a backup, right? We're not completely casting off of that. I was looking over to my left to make sure we weren't going to keep playing. Apparently, Nolly had the same problem I did. Yeah. And we're going to start from kickoff here. 3-0 lead, but it does seem like Aris' team is beating themselves a little bit versus kind of what we've seen so far out of Team Zealous, but props to them. They're actually able to go ahead and start putting shots into the back of the net, which is something they've struggled with for the first 2 games of this series.
Oh, see, okay, yeah. Now, here's the thing, is that we are seeing Aris' team in a situation we haven't seen them in all match long. They're down 3 with 2 minutes remaining. So we are seeing full throttle. We are seeing Nolly not being in the lobby, watching everyone drive in circles. And we're about to see Aris' team try to climb back in this game number 3. I'm excited because I want to see full caliber offense from this squad in the last minute 40.
Oh, good bump right there. Unfortunately, nobody goes for Aris' team there as Aris gets a dunk here. And I mean, this is just kind of awkward all around. The pace of play is slowed down significantly. That's a huge double commit. Luckily, Expert actually triples. If you're not tripling, you're not trying. Able to at least get this ball out of the danger zone as Evo gets a demo there. Aris already up on this. Gonna get a touch and Money can't save it. And all it takes is 20 seconds to turn this back into a 1-goal game.
How is that a demolition? I understand that you can dodge into the demos before you're supersonic and get the speed, but wow, that is not what I expected whatsoever from Evo. Despite the demo, Evo was able to beat to the challenge for that pass to mark up now 2 for Aris's team, and suddenly it's a 1-point game. So we are right there from the comeback of Aris's team. They got a minute to win it.
Minute to win it, or for Team Zealous, just a minute to hold on for dear life, as it seems like the offense has been activated as Aris up on this one. Going to go ahead and sky it down the pitch. Drewy looking for a teammate. It's going to be cut off by Evo almost immediately, trying to keep that one close. Not a lot of boost. Gets a flip reset. Maybe looking for a bump onto money there. Unfortunately, not able to find it as the ceiling challenge comes through for Aris. Now he's going to be up early, kicking this one out to Evo, who's just kind of lurking midfield. That's a little bit dangerous as Aris has to play this one back. However, they're down a goal with 40 seconds left. You have to chase it. You have to be extremely adventurous as Evo looks for a double tap there, not able to find it. Nolly gonna go ahead and take his time, flip it off to the side. It's gonna be saved by Drewy. Bumps coming in. Aris gonna get the tying goal right there. Great job right here, just kind of slowing it down, getting the initial demo. Nolly putting a shot that's dangerous enough to leave it in the box, and they're gonna take complete advantage of it.
I hated it as I was saying it, Visionary One, but that 3-goal lead just seemed mystifying to me, and it felt like Aris's team off the pause was just gonna come back looking like the second phase of a boss. And that's exactly what happens. They close the scoring gap. They've tied it up to 3, and with one more goal, they're gonna win this match and qualify to day 3. But Team Zealous still with a chance. Shot from Expert up the crossbar, follow from Drewy. The revenge taking the lead back.
They are staying alive right here, and that's just a magnificent catch by Expert, realizing that that panic defense is going to be coming through. Not a lot of boost on the side of Aris's team, and they take advantage. Zealous finally being able to find those gaps in the Aris defense, going to allow them to take the lead, but there is still 10 seconds left. Evo, a full tank of boost to work with, gets it through 1, tries to get it through 2, going to get the flip, but unfortunately that was going to shoot all the way back down, and Nolly's going to have to start from square 1. Drew's going to sky that. And Aris going to get this down the pitch. Is anybody going to have enough boost to catch up to this is the question. The answer is found. It's going to be no, and Zealous stays alive in game number 3.
We've got a match. We have got a match, Visionary One. It is definitely not the same match we saw between Clovarity and Rejects. That was very much back and forth, where Clovarity just able to take the edge and have more of control in that series. This one different, right? Team Zealous just seeking past the finish line before Aris's team does, and it's gonna take more of that effort to stay in the series and win games 4 and 5. But the hardest part has been started, Visionary One, and that's getting a game under your belt.
Getting a game under your belt, and I hate to sound cliched, but now it's just game by game, minute by minute. It's all you can do is you can focus on the present, you can focus on everything that's in front of you if you want to try to get this reverse sweep in this best of 5. Is it possible? Absolutely. We saw gaps in Aris's team's defense this game that we did not see in games number 1 and number 2. The question is, are they going to be able to tighten it up, Pyro, or is it going to remain like this to where Zealous can continue to take advantage of these opportunities? If I'm a betting man, I say Aris will look a little bit cleaner in the next game. Zealous seems to have found a way to kind of counterattack and be able to get in the mouth a little bit of Aris's team. It's going to be exciting to see.
Will be exciting to see game 4 starting in just a second here. Maybe players like Expert need to continue to pop off their hat trick in that last game. Maybe more to come. Here we go at game number 4 of this upper qualifier match. Either Aris's team wins this game, or we got ourselves a Champions Field showing.
Everybody loves Champions Field, including myself, as Aris takes this one up to the skies. Gonna be red, but somehow gets a bump on money just to kind of let that one drift through, and Aris with a wild challenge from the side, gonna shoot this one all the way down to the opposite. Here's Nolly with the touch. Aris getting a great doink off that double jump and limited boost, but it's not gonna lead to much here as Money's gonna take their time. Look to carry this one all the way to the opposite side, and Evo, massive challenge off the ceiling there, but is able to secure that side boost. That's going to be imperative for this counterattack as it comes in, as Aris just going to kind of let it go. Drury playing it up to the skies, and with 4:20 to go, it's going to be possession for Aris's team, but no goals on the board just yet.
Just yet, but there was Aris stealing boost, so I know he's got a full tank. Nolly certainly has enough to take it already to the goal line. The layers never cease to end here for Aris's team. It's just one after the other, and Team Zealous, they can't hold the goal line.
And it's always awkward seeing things like that because you see Nolly in the skies. Expert is currently going for boost in the corner, and he decides to flip back without any boost instead of going back and being like, oh, guess what? We can get the boost, and oh, guess what? Over the top is Aris once again grabbing a goal off the kickoff, and most of the kickoff goals we've seen have been from Team Zealous. That's just a huge beat from Evo, and Aris is just going to beat out Expert.
Kickoff tactics, they got it. Goal number 2 in the first minute for Aris's team. We saw the deficit able to be worked back from Aris's team late in the last game. Team Zealous may be upon that objective as well. Can they work against already a 2-goal under the bar? It's Expert. A misflip gets right over the ball, and that's just gonna roll in.
That's a goal. This is Rocket League. Yeah, money can't do anything there. It's just like on the goal line, nobody's going to be able to get around it, and that's not the kind of goal you want to see when you're down 2, right? You want to see, like, if they have, you got to make them fight for it at a very minimum. That's just not the case right there. Is now Team Zealous, they watched the 3-goal lead just evaporate in the last game. Now they have to claw their way back from 1 here as well, as Team Aris has kind of turned up the heat and turning up, recognizing that space and realizing once again that, hey, we have a 3-goal lead. What's our time? It's time to burn out the clock, play these high, play some 50-50s. Aris trying to get a flip reset here. Going to kick it back out to Nolly. Going to try to take a rocket of a shot. It's going to be Evo to the side. Has enough boost to do something with it. But look, they've already bled 30 seconds off the clock, Pyro.
Yeah, that time definitely important here for Team Zealous. And you talked about them elevating their play style. I want Team Zealous to do that. I mean, let's be honest here. Aris' team, we've seen Evo pre-jumping from when 5 minutes were on the clock. And these passing combinations as well, they're trying to take high in turn. Evo brings this right to the middle to Aris, and there you have it, a 4th goal. I need Team Zealous to be getting proactive as well. I need them playing off the ceiling to cut off these chances before they get too damaging.
That was filthy from Evo, using the wall to get the height that they need to recover and bounce off of it, and then the control afterwards to be able to just get a light touch, fake the high, and go low and just get it right over to Aris. Like, Aris might have gotten the goal there on the board, as that's a great pass, and that is just denied by the crossbar. But that was all Evo. Like, that was absolute insanity right there, and he's going to try to find another one. Unfortunately, not able to fight it through Drury, but this offense is just going to continue raging on right now for Aris' team as this is going to be pushed down. Evo is going to be looking to wrap around. Great demo as well. That actually secures the boost for a teammate, so that's actually massive coming out. Allows Nolly to be able to take this one to the sky. Evo going up once again, and it's just kind of the time waster. We're down to 2 minutes and 20 seconds. Team Zealous has not been able to find anything yet. Are there? How many balls are we going to see in this series, Pyro, go in at 24, 20, 18 miles an hour?
Hey, if it's enough, it's enough. It goes over the line for Money. I know Money's built like that. I know he's capable of plays like that, and honestly, way more than it too. But if that's the case, if all that's needed is a flip reset past 2 defenders, so be it. Team Zealous will take the goals where they can get them. And I know that they're capable of more than this. They just gotta find themselves being a little more proactive, trying to intercept these passing plays before they formulate. They're telegraphed, Visionary One. They've got to be interjected instead. They're just getting these infield passes for free.
I mean, they're getting them for free, but it's Nolly with the pace on that one that makes it difficult to A, kind of shoot the gap, and B, Aris. You're going across your body and you're still able to find the back of the net on that. So, like, Aris is just having fun at this point. They're just trying mechanical stuff and seeing what happens, I feel like. And there's another defensive pass, and Drury is going to have to sky in and somehow gets around that and makes the save. Magnificent job, but with 4 goals to chase and 2 minutes to go, you're going to need more than that, and those shots can't just keep flowing in for Aris' team.
There's the thing for Team Zealous there. Not going to be out of the tournament if they do take a loss here, so not everything on the line. They will go to the lower bracket and get a second chance as Aris. I guess a second chance on getting the 6th goal for Aris' team, but I'm probably going to stop talking about what it shoulda and coulda and talking about what seems to be happening. As a Team Zealous, if they do go down to that lower bracket, it's still another chance. So they got to take what they learned from here and try to move on.
I mean, I guess my real question is, Chad, did we see a Brazil come out in game number 4? Apparently, Aris is not too happy about them losing that game number 3 in the fashion that they did after the comeback. So We're going to see, I mean, Zealous has an opportunity here. It's going to find the back of the net. So, hey, Brazil averted. My question lasts for about all of 15 seconds before Zealous decides to shut that one down.
That's what we do as analysts. We present something and it immediately gets destroyed as the goal line and anyone near that does as the missiles fire away. 2 goals, 4 more to go. Still, if you are Team Zealous, Expert, gonna be on the back of this kickoff. He's gonna pop it up and has a lot of boost to follow up, but Ali was on top of it. They're reading them like a book. Every single take towards the ceiling has been cut off. Evo still gets the better of that 50, forces Expert to make the save a ceiling pinch from Aris, then blocked by Expert. And we may just do this little dance here of Aris' team holding possession, firing away shots. Team Zealous looking for an exit for the last minute.
Looking for an exit plan, but unfortunately they are not able to find it just yet. With 4 goals to chase, and Aris is just going to get this one down the pitch. Here's Evo with a read. High off the backboard. Noli's already in the sky as well. Aris has to make a quick cut, and oh my Evo!
A meteor strike from the skies and right down and over Expert. How about that teamwork? Still making it all work for Aris' team. It's what we spoke about from the beginning, Visionary One. The counterattack game from Aris' team has been peak. They are finding each other in the most rare of scenarios, and it's been amazing to watch as this really is just a pickup team, these 3 playing with each other right now. It's been magnificent to see that coordination take place and then peak on certain moments like that. So it was through and through that Aris' team either climbed the comebacks or held the lead for long through the games to get this win and qualify for the final day of the Bandits on Wheels Fall Showdown. We'll see Aris' team tomorrow.
Definitely excited to see more of that squad as Aris popped off that game with 4 goals. But look at the assist as well. I mean, there are 5 of those 7 goals come assisted. That is massive for Aris' team, and it's something that we continually saw the entire time. So I'm definitely excited to see what this team will bring in day number 3. And oh man, Pyro. I mean, what a day of Rocket League in general, man. It was a ton of game 5s, a ton of moving around, moving parts, especially with the teams once again. A lot of tryouts that we're seeing. We still have another day of it.
A lot of tryouts and some not tryouts as well, apparently. But yeah, we still have more to see, of course, tomorrow as this does conclude in terms of the matches. But I need an update, Visionary One, because I know Aris' team is moving on the next day, but I want to see who else is moving on as well. We see our results from Souk Partik. We will see them in day 3, qualifying through the uppers. Still some question marks, though, because we see Team Zealous move down to play Dope, who took away Kickflip, and Elephant will be down there meeting Schnauzenheisers. I know that is a tough match for either of those squads.
It's going to be just tough sledding ahead for both of them. Just to highlight what happened, obviously, earlier in the day with Group A and Group C. We have, of course, Flight making it through to uppers. Reddle's team, not a tryout, making it through the lower in Group A. Hey Bro, just continuing their domination in the whole Bandits on Wheels Fall Showdown. They're going to go ahead and make day 2 through uppers. I don't think anybody is surprised by that. Clovarity is going to go ahead and rocket through rejects 3-2 on, that was our first streamed match of the day, Pyro. That was an insane one, obviously. And then Aris' team here in upper is going to go ahead and qualify. 2 matches technically left to play for the day, but unfortunately for us, we are going to be done here. However, Hercules does have one of these 2 matchups going on her stream. So with that update, everything else that's going on, obviously 2 teams still left to qualify. Pyro, I'm going to go ahead, let you get any thoughts, any shout outs, anything that you're excited to see for tomorrow.
It's kind of that situation where I wish everybody could be in day 3, because I know Team Zealous, that's a tough loss for them. They'll still look to make it. I look at matches still to be had like Elephants and Schnauzenheisers, and I want to see players like G-Man make it from the Elephants. I want to see the whole squad of Tivar, Taroko, and Don make it onto day 3 as well. But this is how it goes. This is how it works. Qualifiers or quals, and only a couple and a few teams can make it to that final day. So I'm excited to see the final action. Glad we got this qual run. And tomorrow, oh my, it's going to be saucy because we've got so many good teams out here today.
I think for me, it's just the continued dominance of Habro in the offseason. Like, this is so surprising for them just to go ahead and sweep through once again. 3-0, 3-0, uppers day 3. I mean, it's death taxes and Habro making it in Bandits on Wheels tournaments to day 3 at this point. It's been absolutely asinine, and I love seeing the kind of rise of that team especially. So I'm excited to see what they bring to tomorrow as well. But of course, for myself, for Pyro, for everybody here at Bandits on Wheels, of course, just staying alive, handling all the buttons in the background. We love you, brother. Everybody else associated with the production and making sure everything runs smoothly. This is always a great operation to work with. I love Bandits on Wheels, and we're going to be able to bring you more action, of course, on Sunday. Stick around. We love you guys. I hope y'all have a wonderful night.